Fuck it.
Oh, fucking hell! Hello, everybody!
We're back.
Hello and welcome, everyone! Ladies and gentlemen! Fucking hell. It's gotten to him. Alright. Hello, everybody. Stanley's going to introduce what we're doing today.
So we're reading horror stories from Reddit. Some could be real, some could be fake.
Yes.
We shall find out.
Yes, we will. Percy, sit down!
I want some cake.
No! Sit down! You have cake in a minute!
Can I get some snacks out?
Oh my god, we literally just started this video! Please!
Can I eat this?
Oh, yes, you can eat that!
Thank you.
Come sit down.
I don't know a
Thank you,
drink.
Stanley.
You guys make yourself drink.
We did as well.
Nobody made me a drink.
What is this? I thought you'd share mine.
You're on the other side of the fucking table.
So, you're telling me I
And
can't
you
pass things?
stole my cup again.
No, I didn't. Oh my god. So anyway, we're going to be reading some scary stories to you guys today. And the idea is basically ripped off of BuzzFeed of Ryan and Shane. Yes, 100%. But it is us, the It crew. We have Eddie, Stanley, and Richie.
Richie Tozer. What am I drinking?
Nothing! Fucking sit down, you alky! Just drink.
Oh,
Oh, fucking so. Oh shit, Jesus did it again.
Oh, fuck.
Not in my household.
No, it's a dry household.
We don't have Jesus in this household.
Absolutely not. Hail Hanukkah. Anyway.
What the fuck do they worship in Jewish
Hanukkah. They hail Hanukkah?
I don't actually know
the
anything about
Jewish god Hanukkah.
I don't know much about
Can you come and sit down?
except for they read the Torah and they go
They
to
read
synagogue.
the Torah and go to synagogue.
I want a Jewish boy.
That's a hole,
who
Percy.
go
You're
to
putting it in a hole.
synagogue
And
and
read his
Torah.
Torah. Anyway, go ahead, Stanley. Tell me what we're doing. Come on, Stanley. Come on, Stanley. Let's go, Stanley.
Once again, we're reading horror stories. They could be real, they could not be real. We'll find out.
After these more messages.
Tune in after the break.
Okay, so we've all picked these stories. We've not read them. We've just gotten them up.
They might be really awful. Who knows?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
They
Okay.
probably are.
Okay. Okay, so just pick one and let's rock and roll, Buckaroo.
Sure, you don't want to stop with pomegranate.
Start with
Shall we start with
pomegranate.
pomegranates?
Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna look at. Right. Okay.
This one's called pomegranates, if you didn't already get that.
Okay, go on.
I just can't get enough of them, Melissa said to me one day. They just taste so damn good. She started craving pomegranates a few weeks into her pregnancy.
Oh,
So I did my duty as a husband
Fucking
and
hell.
filled her fruit after fruit.
fucking hell, she's pregnant. This is already a nightmare. That's enough for me. Fucking horror story. My wife's
I'm gonna
pregnant.
let him finish. Sorry, Stan. I'll let you finish, but my
My wife being pregnant is the worst horror story I've ever heard
You
of.
mean your ex-wife?
Sorry, my ex-wife.
My mother warned me about the sudden cravings, but the old folk wisdom of sours our sons, spices our daughters didn't apply in this case.
What the fuck?
If you crave sour food, then you get a boy. If you crave spices, then you get a girl.
Right.
Someone
That's-
said this sounds like one of Bill's stories.
It does
History.
sound. New title: we read Bill's stories and rip them to shreds.
Come to think of it, we never focused on the baby's gender. I was too busy prying those shiny red rubies from their squishy prison.
I was too busy prying. I thought they were about the eyes. I thought for a split second the baby was born with red eyes and he was like, oh, cutting them out. I realised you're about the actual
Are you gonna let it finish, man?
Well, I mean, we've got to have our input. That
Yeah,
was made it
that's true.
funny. Carry on, Stanley.
I was secretly sick of the taste when Melissa's belly began to swell.
But she's pregnant. Yeah.
Her obsession carried on. Each day she demanded at least a whole fruit be sacrificed to the unyielding desire inside her. And I had to oblige. We even joked about giving the baby the nickname Pom if it turned out to be a girl. Despite all my complaints, I could now dissect a pomegranate with my eyes closed.
Well, that's good.
A key life skill there.
Put that on your CV.
Hey, that's relevant if you went to your interview at the morgue, right?
Yeah.
I can slice up a
Yeah.
pomegranate with my eyes shut. Carry on.
Melissa said there's just something incredibly satisfying about the way those arrows taste. A deep compulsion stemming from her gut is driving her to savor the crimson juices, the sweet tangy flavor.
The crimson juices.
Now that sounds like a porno.
Even the crunchy little seeds
It's
at
just
the
fart.
core.
I thought I could sneak it out quietly. Continue. The crimson juice.
It's crimson juices.
My crimson juices, they just couldn't stay in.
Yeah.
I watched her gulp handfuls at a time, letting the flow of nectar drain into her body. She ate with a ferocity unmatched by her petite and delicate figure, and always snapped at me whenever I tried to point it out.
Well, yeah, if you're telling your wife, wow, you're eating like a fucking horse, aren't you? It's a bit fucking rude. Especially if she's pregnant with your child. Fucking hell, you should lose some weight, you fat bitch. I'm pregnant.
I'm sorry, Snap.
She woke me by screaming one day, her voice tearing through my fabric of sleep and sending me flying down the stairs to find her bunched up on the floor sobbing. She wasn't due for another 2 months. My mind swelled with panic, fear putting my body on autopilot as we sped to the hospital. For the life of me, I never understood a single thing from that lengthy diagnosis paper. After listening to the prognosis, all I managed was to stutter.
Of course you did, Billiam.
What do you mean? Your wife was never pregnant, sir. We couldn't find any signs of a miscarriage. My world started spinning. What? How? Our last hospital visits? He furrowed his brows, apprehension swelling behind his glasses. Her body is empty, always has been. No trace of HCG in her entire system. He showed me the x-ray. I felt my throat close up. Melissa was in the hospital for months. The doctors worked around the clock to wrestle her back from the clutches of death. I waited by her comatose body, dreading the conversation we might have when she wakes up. Hospital food wasn't great.
I'm sorry. So, you find out your wife isn't actually pregnant, that she must have miraculously lost this child, right? She's in a coma and you're waiting for her to wake up. But the thing that's at the forefront of your mind is, this hospital food tastes like utter shit. Like,
What? Bill's great at writing books. Let him
We
get-
are getting to the ending,
oh,
so
it's fucking out.
we're right at the end. Hospital food wasn't great, but I developed a taste for their pomegranates. A hunger even. A ferocious one. It's been 2 weeks. I couldn't stop the swelling. Whatever was inside of her had jumped ship to me, and now I really, really crave pomegranates.
Is that it?
That's it!
That. What?
Well
So-
done, Bill!
Good job, Bill! Good job, Bill! There was like a demon and it wanted to eat. Like, I'm guessing it was like a demon.
bagel!
I want 2 bagels. 2 bagels! Anything else?
want to eat the souls of the innocent.
How about bagel?
2 bagels.
So I'm gonna give that a thumbs down. That one was shit, mate. It's funny though. For
No,
half
I
hearts
don't know
and
what you
hee-hees, it was pretty funny.
It was great. I was on the edge of my seat. I even let loose.
You did. You thought it was so funny. You let rip.
This gave
You're
me
right.
so
Was
much
it your crimson
I
juices?
shit myself.
Your crimson juices exploded.
Man, it's a good thing Stanley can't smell. I shit myself during that story. It was so scary.
Oh
Good
my
job,
God.
Bill. Good job.
Okay, so that was
That was
absolutely shit. That was false.
that was false.
That was fake.
Believe it or not,
Fake news.
that wasn't real.
Check the comments.
What are the comments for that one?
I had no clue where the story was going, but I loved it. I assumed the baby was going to come out being part pomegranate or something.
Imagine if she did just shit out a pomegranate.
Imagine if she gave birth to a pomegranate.
Yeah, that's what I was just like.
That would have been a
picturing-
better. Can we pitch that to Bill next time?
Yeah, pitch it to Bill that like it's like one of Stephen
Yeah.
King's books, you know?
Yeah, you
it's
know.
good. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Okay. Do you want to read the next
No.
one, or should we take it in turns? You having fun reading them
I
out?
don't mind.
I like your voice. Let's let you do it.
What a flirt.
Your voice sounds like sandpaper. Shut
It
the
does.
fuck up.
I'm not gonna lie, it does.
Okay, the next one is called Roller Coaster, so better buckle up.
Strap in.
So
All
to
right.
be honest, check. You know, that is quite a moment of intimacy when the safety guy comes around and checks your belt.
I think that's only you.
I was once trapped in a ride once.
What? Were you?
What?
Yeah, the harness
Didn't come off.
didn't come up.
Ah!
It was only like a little town.
Oh shit.
And I was just sat there, and all my friends got off, and they were just pointing and laughing at me, and I was just sat there
Makes you feel better.
with the harness on.
You're stuck on the ride!
Essentially, yeah.
In America, right, there's this ride at Disneyland, and it's like you're a test dummy, and you have to go through these different things for this car, right? And basically, you go through this big oven, right, and then you go through this big freezer, and then there's this big outside bit where you're on like a vertical that's like literally like that, right? I got stuck in the freezer, and then they put us back on the ride. I got stuck in the oven, put us back on the ride, and I got stuck on the fucking vertical drop with my big dad, right? All I can remember them shouting is, "Get the kid out! Get the kid out! If he goes, she's gonna be crushed!" And I was like, "Fucking hell! Oh my god!
Amazing.
Fucking hell!"
That's a roller coaster.
That's a roller coaster. Now read, Stanley, read.
On that note,
On that note, roller coaster.
Mum, I don't like it. I want to get off. That was very monotone.
Can we have some more
He wants to
emotion?
get off! He wants to get off! Not you,
Mum,
Stanley.
I don't like it. I want to get off.
Do it
Was that more
back.
emotion?
That was better.
Is that better?
That's much
Yeah.
better. Yeah, that was good, Stanley.
Okay. I was a bit surprised. He'd always been so brave. I was way more afraid than him when we got on. I never liked being so high up on the ground. From the ground, even. This will be so much fun, he had said when we were at the parking the car.
What?
When we were parking the car.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had kind of hoped he would be strong for both of us. Oh, honey, I'm sorry, but we can't get off now. The ride has already started. But remember the small roller coaster in the park you went to when you were little with the funny clown?
What the what?
The what?
Did you say funny
The
clown?
funny clown?
Did you just say
Do you remember the
C
funny
word?
clown?
Fucking hell.
This is just like that, only bigger. I remember how awesome that was. My son looked at me with watery eyes. Oh God, he had been so excited about this. I tried to swallow my own nervousness and kept talking to calm him down. My voice was shaking a bit, but I managed to put on a smile. It's okay, it's okay. You might feel a bit funny in your stomach. It's because of the speed and the changes in the force that pushes you.
Pardon me?
Bless you.
Hey! I'm fine.
Jesus bless you. Bless you.
It's the fan.
It's normal. Listen, do you hear? Other people are scared too. So that's how to calm down.
Yeah.
More people are scared. It's fine.
Wait, you're nervous? Listen to the sound of screaming children. I'll
When
calm
you
you
hear
down.
those screams, everyone's scared,
Ah.
and it's warranted.
Oh, fucking hell. My mum would never
You're
want to ride
scared?
with
Well,
me.
you should be.
I'm scared tactics. Are you scared? You should be. Carry on, sorry, making this nice dinner with Stanley.
He looked at me with his kind blue eyes and nodded.
Ooh, so
Just
kind.
barely. So blue.
It's you.
I wanted to hug him, but my back was pressing to the seat so heavily I couldn't move enough. So was his. My eyes caught a glimpse of the sun over my son's head. The sky was so bright. I tried to ignore the metallic clanging noises and people screaming somewhere that seemed to be so far away. Oh, how I missed the ground. Then I felt a big drop on my stomach. We were going faster and faster. My son started sobbing and I tightened my grip on his hand. I thought that he would become such a handsome man someday. He would end up having a good life and marry a nice girl. Or a guy. Who
Oh, we
knows?
got some
Oh, it
inclusion.
says
Very
it.
good.
It says it, that's
That's
just not
good.
just me.
Who knows?
Who knows? I don't care as long as he was happy. That's all I wanted, for him to be happy and not scared. Hey, you know what? Close your eyes. This will be over soon. I'm here. I'm not letting go. Someone behind us started to scream. I felt my blood run cold. I tried to keep my focus on the one thing that mattered, my son's hand and my calm voice that kept telling him that it was all going to be okay. Oh, he would become such a handsome man someday, but in this moment he was just a 6-year-old boy on his first flight, going to surprise his grandparents all the way across the country, and the last thing I saw before I closed my own eyes was the second engine on fire.
Holy shit!
He was on a plane.
I thought, oh fuck!
It's on a plane the entire time,
Oh,
and the
got
plane was on
chills.
fire.
That's nice! Wow.
And then Lost happened.
And they're on the island.
Yeah.
That was Charlie. The boy was Charlie.
Gonna be a handsome man someday.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
that
good.
was actually like
I-
a nice little reveal
I
ending.
feel like if they hadn't have called it roller coaster though, we wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the title, you
Well,
wouldn't have understood.
Well, that's
they
the point,
speak
though.
about the roller coaster and like rides
That's true. That's true.
throughout the theme of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they didn't actually say at any point that they were on a roller coaster.
They
No.
just said, remember that roller coaster
That
you
you
were
were
on,
on,
it's
yeah.
like that.
That's pretty
And so
good.
compared it to that, so they never actually said what they were on.
That was
That's
pretty
smart.
good.
That was
That
pretty
was
smart.
pretty clever. Okay, good wordplay.
Stanley,
So-
can I ask, do you have like anti-glare lenses or something? Because mine
Yes,
are,
I do.
Ah!
yeah, I can tell because mine are, I don't have eyes.
I'm not blind, so
Well, some people are lucky enough not to pay for eyesight, but
yeah. Some people
Well,
are lucky
we,
enough not to pay
we-
to breathe. So shut
we
the fuck
can,
up.
you know, eat food.
All right, damn. Okay. Wow.
Woo!
Fuck you, Stanley.
Take a sippy of your crimson juice.
Right. With the right. Have you closed the one you read now? No. Did you close the last one?
No, so I no. It's
Pomegranates
one.
and roller coaster down. Okay. So what's this one called?
It started as a leak.
Should I read that one?
Yeah. Fuck it. Okay.
Are we making Stanley read all of these?
I mean, I wanted to take it in turn. Stanley's read 2 now, so should we have a go?
Do you want to read
I
it?
want to go.
Started
I want to go
as
first.
okay.
Fuck you.
Yeah, he wants to put off listening to my voice as much as possible.
Yeah. It's like sandpaper, man. Okay. All right. We ready?
Yes.
Read
us a bedtime story, Eddie.
All right. Tuck you into bed. Let's go. You got your toys. You got your fucking cuddly toys and your sleep mask ready. Okay. It started as a leak, not the food. The rainy season began in early summer, and June had been no exception. It did not surprise the man when he discovered rainwater dripping from his dining room ceiling. Shrugging it off, he placed a tall pot beneath the leak and expected it to stop on its own. However, it continued to rain, and before he knew it, the pot would threaten to overflow. He had to dump the water out the first thing in the morning and straight after he returned home from work. That sounds like a heavy leak. Yeah.
That's quite a leak.
Eventually, he began to notice water damage at the source of the leak. The white ceiling had discolored, turning a dull shade of brown.
Stop reading the fucking story.
Yeah, stop reading it, Stanley!
I need to read it to be able to
Oh,
comprehend
okay.
it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll share it with you, Stanley.
I'm following with you, so I'm just
Oh,
kind
okay,
of,
that's fine. That's fine.
I'm not reading
I used to
ahead.
do that. That's fine.
I
That's
just
fine.
need to follow the words.
Okay. He checked the weather and realized that it would continue to rain over the next 10 days.
Is this England or Wales?
Basically.
Or just the UK in
It
general?
must be. But we're from America, so we wouldn't know.
Yes.
We're from Derry.
yes, Derry.
Well, our good friend Bill was in England.
That's true.
Mm.
The man was worried about the ceiling mildewing and becoming an expensive repair, so he called a local handyman. Already don't like that. Unfortunately, the man could not sign to have the repairs done. Only his landlord could do it. It was so frustrating the policy. The man had called his landlord but could not reach him. He left him a few voicemails detailing how the damage was becoming progressively worse. The man was clueless as to why his landlord would not return his calls. They usually kept in touch, speaking at least twice a month. Finally, he reasoned that he would not be held accountable for any of the damages sustained. One night, the man was startled awake by a massive thump. He quickly turned on his bedside lamp, and just vaguely he could see an overturned table and a large shape laying across it.
That's a big no from me.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, like imagine you're in a dark room, you've barely got a dim light, and all you can see is a lump across the table at the end of your bed that wasn't there.
Normally, I look across and it's like the 200 wig heads.
That's what I mean.
Handyman didn't drink his crimson juice.
Okay. He sprinted out of his apartment and called the police, gagging at the smell.
Gagging.
Absolutely gagging for it. The man sat in the police station with a blanket wrapped around his shoulders and a coffee mug resting in his hands. He did know one thing. There had been a dead body in his ceiling, and the water had just saturated it so badly it caved under the weight.
So he knew that there was a dead body? Just
in his ceiling. I mean, read that.
the one thing
No,
I do know is I just
I
have
think
dead
he-
bodies in my walls and ceiling.
I think he saw it as he ran out of the fucking house. So far, the body was unidentifiable. The body was unidentifiable due to the rainwater and was being autopsied. See, you know how to say that word, Stanley.
Yeah.
While the man waited, he called his landlord and finally reached him, picking up as he explained the situation. His
Panicking as he
panicking. The landlord was just as alarmed, and the man pleaded for him to come to the station while he made his statement. The man paused as the detective crossed over him, and he lowered his phone, wondering if the body had been identified. The blood ran immediately cold, and he shook his head with terror. The body belonged to Richard Thompson, his landlord, and as he had died over a year ago, that's not what disturbed him the most. If his landlord was dead, then who was pretending to be him?
That's unsettling.
That is unsettling. The
That's
idea that
unsettling.
actually the person he's on the phone to at that moment as well could hear him
Mm.
and like
Eat the body.
eat the body. Eat the body. I mean, so what do you guys think of that one? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was quick.
it was a nice little short story.
It was very like wham bam thank you.
This
ma'am.
one has quite a few of them on.
Oh, do you want me to read another one?
If you want, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What-
that
what
one
did you
was
think of that one?
wild. I wasn't sure where it was going.
Yeah.
Stanley, where you
They said Richard Thompson, and I was like Richard Tozer.
I was like,
Did you see me like?
I thought it was like
this
a name
one's
we were
good.
supposed to know, and we was just like,
Okay, I'm gonna read this one because it feels like something that we were talking about earlier that would scare the shit out of you. It's called Kids in the Dark, and it has a nice
Okay.
picture of the bottom of the bed with some pillows, and it's all dark, right? So, would you give that one the story I just read a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I put a thumbs up.
it was
I
pretty
quite
good.
Yeah, I'll
liked
give
it.
it a
It was
thumb.
quite succinct.
Okay.
Pomegranates, I give a thumbs down because it's a bit shit. I mean, I'll give it a thumbs up on the laugh factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got
we want
enough.
scare
The
factor, we
horror
want laugh
factor was the big no. The amusement
was the
factor.
biggest. And then the one that was on the roller
Roller
coaster.
coaster.
That was clever.
That was good.
That was
liked
very
one.
good.
Okay.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah, so
But
bad
it's good.
thumbs down on the funny aspect.
Yeah. Well, it's
Okay.
not really supposed to be funny.
It's
Okay.
not supposed to be. Well, we can
Yeah,
horror.
it was.
And then what
it was
about
more
the-
just fucking scary to be quite honest.
And then
It
you
was
got the leak.
unnerving.
The leak.
The leak.
The leak was the good fun.
The name's funny.
Okay. Kids in the Dark, let's go.
Already sounds scary.
Okay.
The picture horrifying.
Okay. Whew. Growing up poor in the deep south meant sharing a lot with my little brother, Ollie.
Texas.
Already
Ollie.
horrifying.
Most often, we'd pass toys, clothes, and skin conditions between us. Alright.
Skin.
Yeah, it says that. Up until he was 6, we even shared a bed. Neither of us were happy about that. Move on from the skin conditions. It was my 10th birthday when that changed. I got one present that year, and it was a bed of my own. Ollie was jealous right away, and I could understand why. He had to keep the half broken down frame with the worn out mattress. The one I'd gotten wasn't much better, but not being broken and was worn enough.
I mean, I can understand why it's salty.
I mean, I get pissed too if you gave my fucking younger brother, like, you know. Okay. Sleeping apart was a great feeling. It was freedom. No longer would I have to suffer the sudden, inexplicable kicks to the stomach. No longer would I wake up with Ollie's foot pressed into my neck like he'd stepped on Dracula the night before.
What if there was never a second kid?
Is that what you're guessing already?
I'm guessing maybe
an
there was never
imaginary
a second
friend.
kid, or maybe he feels
He's
like
feeling
he
this
thinks
shit.
the brother's gonna come and sleep in and feels like feet or something.
Oh,
against
you
him.
think it's like that? Okay.
And then
It's
looks
gonna be-
over and the kid's in the other bed still.
Oh, okay. So
Oh.
hasn't actually stated if they're in separate rooms, just as they've got separate beds. So I'm guessing
Yeah,
they're
so
in
I'm
the
guessing
same
they're
room.
in the same bed.
Okay.
That's where I'm going. with
Okay,
this story.
okay,
Same
okay.
room.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
At
That's pretty good.
least that's what I'd thought. Right away, right after I got the new bed, a shriek started. At first, I thought Ollie had woken up in the middle of the night and screamed because he'd gotten scared. Then the sound echoed through my tiny room again, and I it wasn't a normal cry. Okay, so they are in separate rooms.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I liked what Stanley said better. It was more interesting.
Maybe you should write the stories, man.
Maybe.
You could think of a Bill story.
Bill, I'm coming for you.
Woohoo! I'll say
That's
it.
a bit gay.
Okay. The room was always
Don't
Black.
make me like that.
Alright, you ready? The room was always black as pitch after sunset. The one window we had was pressed against a long leaf pine, and even the biggest, brightest moon cast no light inside.
So it's very dark.
So it's very fucking dark. The shriek just about drove me crazy. Every night, probably at the same exact time, these sharp yells would knock me right out of my dreams. It wasn't my mum or my dad yelling either. I knew what that sounded like. Believe me, fucking hell, right, so he's in an abusive home. Most worryingly of all was the fact that I could never tell where it was coming from. It seemed completely random. Okay, so it's not his brother then? The screams are coming.
This is where it's just like a fox outside.
Yeah, having sex. Like.
This is what fucking foxes sound like.
And I scream outside your window.
One night,
Probably an animal, mate.
One night, I'd come from somewhere near the closet. Prince Richie toes are crying. The next,
Fucking.
it'd shoot out from a corner of the ceiling. And hope I'd have. Sorry, what's. Any hope I'd had of finding my own space would get dashed every time as Ollie would silently slip into the bed with me.
Could I be right?
Shaking like crazy. He'd clasp onto me and he wouldn't let go until it was almost daybreak. Most times I'd have to take his hand and tell him everything was going to be okay. That would be over by morning, but I was never really sure. Over time, the shrieks started changing. At first, it was only by small degrees, but eventually it took the primal hooting sound of a primate calling out its fierce warning. I had to clasp my pillows to my ears just to keep me from going deaf.
Fucking hell. If I was hearing that,
I'd be like, Mum! What the fuck?
the first fucking time I hear it, I'd be like,
I would not be sleeping in my own room. I would be living in my parents' room.
yeah, literally.
Alright, and then, okay. Mum and Dad never believed me, or Ollie, because the thing was, whatever it was, refused to make a peep when they were in the room. Apparently, they couldn't even hear it through the walls, even though it was damn sure loud enough.
We all know kids are more attuned to the
Supernatural.
paranormal.
Paranormal. Paranormal?
We all know kids are more attuned to the paranormal.
I'd love to get a bit paranormal.
It's been a while since he's had any paranormal.
Blowy from a ghost.
The shriek just got worse and worse. Should I carry on or should I give you a minute?
Why are you looking at me in disbelief?
Alright. Okay. The shriek. Can I read, please?
Can you?
I don't know. Will you let me? I know. The shriek got worse and worse until I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. Me and Ollie were doing really bad in school. And what's on you, mate? And we just had no energy at all. I couldn't sleep more deeply with my head propped up and my eyes open in the middle of class than in my own room at night. Then, thankfully, we moved out of the house nearly a year later. I had contemplated all sorts of things, even a child's clumsy concept of suicide, to get away from the horrific nightly noise.
Wow.
Bit dark.
Bit dark, alright? There was no problem at the next house. It was nice, white, cookie-cutter home on a dead-end street, and I welcomed the normality. What's more, when we moved in there was a bunk bed for me and waiting for me and Ollie. No more broken bed, no more second-hand bed I ended up having to share anyway. The only problem was deciding who'd get the top bunk. I told Ollie I deserved it. After all, I had gotten a new bed way back, and he ruined it by climbing into my bed every night. What? He shook his head and said, I never did that. I had always wondered why the noise stopped the second I was sharing my bed. Now I know the answer.
You were right.
Whatever
You
it
were
was,
right.
whatever it was, it just wanted a spoon.
It
just
just
wanted
wanted,
a
a little comfort.
It wanted a spoon.
Maybe it was a little child ghost
And it just wanted some spooning.
who was like terrorized by the perils of being a ghost
Just wanted a warm
and
touch.
just wanted some company.
You know, sometimes
And,
it's been a while since people have hugged me, you know?
Yeah.
They just wanted a little warm hug. Alright, Percy, it's your turn. You get to
Richie.
read. Richie, it's your turn. You get to read 2 stories, then it's back to Stanley.
Okay.
I've read like 2 on here, so just scroll them now.
Should I just go?
This
go
is
along
fun.
With
This is fun. I love how we're ripping into these stories. It's quite good. Quite a laugh. Quite a jaunt.
Ooh, I'll go for the first one. Darkness. This was called Darkness in the Rearview Mirror.
This is like designed to give you nightmares.
This one's like, it's got a
Oh,
picture
fuck!
of a dark road. This is
That's
quite a
not
fear.
pleasant.
That's
yeah,
not
that
pleasant.
is not pleasant. I can't
Stop
see
staring
anything.
at it.
Do you have a fear of like, you know, like the Torchwood episode where like they put like a body in the road?
I watched Torchwood. He
Yeah,
did.
I
He
did
talked
watch
to me.
Torchwood.
and then basically you'd stop the car and you get out to check on the body
And
and it's
it-
actually someone trying to kidnap you. And people do it in real life
Yeah,
with
that's
like
When they
babies.
pretend to get hit with cars
They
and
pretend
stuff,
to get
yeah.
hit with cars, or they put like a
And they
fake,
jump in the
or they
car when
throw,
you're
like-
not in the car.
or
They drive
yeah,
off. and
Yeah, they
leave
throw
you.
a fake body in the road, or alternatively, sometimes people have like baby carriers and stuff
And they
right
roll
beside
into the road. Yeah.
and people stop and check on it, and then they'll kidnap you and murder you.
Yeah. Have you seen the thing in where
That's
they'll like?
fun.
That's
No.
horrifying.
If you find tape or like something on your car, don't go like in parking lots,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you are the only one in your parking lot, or it doesn't have to be that, it can be anyone's in the parking lot. If you see there's something stuck to your window, don't go and get it. Just get straight into your car and lock the car after you, because that's people trying to kidnap you.
Or
Like,
just go back to the
shop and say
Yeah,
and get
because
someone to walk
sometimes
into your
people
car.
can get into your
Yeah,
car
yeah.
and will wait in the back seat.
Because,
not
like-
to terrify people,
No.
but it's
Because
genuinely
if
a thing you
you've
need to
parked in a
Yeah.
parking lot and you know that you've parked correctly, you see something like that, you do not fucking go anywhere near your car. You go back inside and you call the police to
Because
check
they,
your
they
car.
could be under the car as well,
Yeah,
waiting for you to open the door.
yeah,
And
it's
they'll-
fucking terrifying. Anyway,
Anyway,
Let's go
after
on.
that actual real horror
bit.
flying story,
I was giving you a fucking talk.
a little PSA on
Your
Yeah.
gay uncle's giving you a lecture on life.
Yeah.
Alright, go on then, Richie, let's hear it, bud.
Alright. In the summer of 2013, I found myself driving home alone on a highway 902 from a party. Sounds legit.
91210.
It was almost midnight, and needless to say, it was pitch black.
That sounds like something Richie Tozer would do.
As was usual at night,
Well,
I was on edge.
Yeah, high as fuck.
Are y'all
Lonely.
good?
Depressed.
Y'all good? Can I read?
Suicidal. Yep.
I had the radio off and could hear nothing but the muffled roar of tires on the
Oh,
pavement
that's horrifying.
and the dull hum of the engine. I
Mm.
stole a glance into the middle rear view mirror, so the one that's up there,
Yeah, basically you check behind the car.
and saw nothing but darkness through the back window.
This is like
It's a no from me.
Were your doors locked, Richard?
I don't know, we'll find out. I know that I looked backward and saw nothing. I'm sure of it. Just the seemingly endless blackness of the night.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you and say I am feeling a bit scared by this one already.
Reasons why I do not drive and cannot drive, because I could not be alone in a car in the countryside on roads in the dark.
This is a bit scary already. Okay, let's keep going. It's good.
Okay. Hang
It's
on.
okay standing in here. Do you want to pull my hands? You okay?
I remember it so
Okay.
clearly because not 10 seconds later a car passed me to the left, headlights on. I had one of those sudden adrenaline rushes, like when you think you see a person outside your bedroom window when it's just a tree, or when you start awake at night with a feeling of falling. 10 seconds later, nothing had been behind me. Suddenly, a car. I drove the rest of the way home, shivering and knowing something was off. The next morning, I found 2 sets of scratches near the back of my van.
Oh, that's unpleasant.
Yeah, one was on the left rear, one was on the right. The car was pretty old. They could have been there for months, but that was the first time that I distinctly remembered seeing them. In hindsight, there are 2 possibilities for what happened that night. Possibility 1, by some glitch in reality or something paranormal, this other car had somehow appeared behind me within the 10 seconds of me
We're all
checking
in a
my mirror.
simulation. Simulation.
Yeah, literally. Like some weird ghost crap or something. However, the second option is what makes my blood run cold when I consider it.
Not the ghosts.
Yeah.
This next one.
It didn't even occur to me until months after the fact. But it makes me dread driving alone at night even more. Possibility 2. The car was normal. It had approached me from the rear and passed me to my left. However, something large and wide and as black as the night had been clinging to the rear of my car, obscuring my view through the window and leaving deep scratches on the sides. And I had inadvertently driven it home with me.
So
Kudos
basically,
for the creativity of that second possibility.
yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
it's saying could have just been a normal car passing me by. Could have been a ghost, or I could have this massive weird ass creature stuck over the back of mine.
Yeah, so the car could have been normal
What
and
kind of
actually been there and passed him, but there was like a little like gremlin stuck in
Yeah.
his back.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm imagining like, you know, flying squirrels?
Yeah,
You get
like big.
big like wing flaps.
Oh, it's Mothman!
I'm
It's Mothman!
kind of imagining, you know, in Monsters vs Aliens, Bob, but opaque, but with like little claws.
The
just,
thing
like,
is though, right, I'm
clinging
gonna
on,
say
like-
this. Even if it's dark as shit outside, right, you'd still be able to see, like, at least something in the background, you know? You'd be able to see through
you
and see the
still
road
got your
go in.
tail
or something.
lights,
Yeah,
so you'll
exactly.
be able to see
So
something.
Yeah.
he should have been able to see something.
No, but it was pitch black.
Then yeah, there was something
Something
on
was
his car.
Yeah.
covering the...
So
And there were scratch marks on the side like something was holding on.
Well, he's living with fucking
possibility
Bob
two
now.
it was.
Living with Mothman.
Living with Moth. Oh, that sounds like a skit idea. Living with
That
Mothman.
sounds like a sitcom.
Yeah, living with Mothman. Nice. Eddie and Richie. No, Eddie and Richie have a sitcom, right? And it's called Living with Bigfoot.
Oh, fuck off.
Stanley.
Stanley Mothman or something.
Yeah, Stanley
Birdman.
Mothman. Birdman.
I do have a bird.
Do you?
Yeah, we're gonna wear it last year at Halloween.
Oh.
We're gonna be the losers.
And you're gonna be a
We're
bird,
be,
yeah.
I'm gonna be me in a bird outfit.
Oh.
And so I have a load of feathers. I have so
Stanley,
many
I love
feathers.
you, right? But move over a little. You're cutting Richie out. There we go. Richie, sit on the box.
Alright.
There we go. I just picked you up and like dragged you. There you go. I want to see you in a bird costume. That'd be cute.
Oh,
yeah, I've got a little
wanna see
owl
bird
mask.
costume.
Percy has a unicorn onesie. I
No,
don't
I got
have
rid of it now.
Oh, do you get rid of it now?
I think it is, yeah.
I don't have a onesie. What onesie should I get, guys? Leave me a comment. What onesie should I get?
You got a Moomin one. so
I
you
have no. I haven't got an actual Moomin onesie.
doesn't
I've
look
got
like a
several
Moomin, but it
bases
has some
with
Moomins on it.
over Anyway, you reading instant messaging?
This one's called Instant Messaging. Sorry, my back's hurting so much. I'm really slouching. Like,
Straighten up.
Yeah, like we'll all sit up.
My
Mum,
back hurts way too much.
sit up straight. Let's do it. Come on. Right. Oh, go. Oh, sorry. Sit on your lap then. My fat ass. Hello. Hello.
What's going on?
Okay.
Okay. It all started on the 14th night of March.
You're already hunching, Stanley. There we go.
My birthday is on the 12th of March, so it all happened on the 14th of
Okay,
March. The night of my parents' 20th wedding anniversary.
Sorry, Stanley. I held your hand.
Fucking what's going on? You're
I'm
making some
sorry.
moves.
I'm sorry. Okay, go on.
Okay. It was a wonderful sunny day, if memory
He's
serves.
not even sure about it.
I
He's
know.
like, it might have
It
been.
might have been fucking the end of the world. I can't quite remember. I
It
went to
might have
many
been
dinners that night.
Do continue.
Yeah, please.
Wait a minute, I need to yawn.
Ooh, you're tiring.
It's just stories, then it's like bedtime stories.
They're good though. That's good.
Surprisingly warm for before the beginning of spring. God,
You're not
that's
more beautiful than beautiful
beautiful
than you.
than you. Where am I? The beautiful weather was perfect for the atmosphere of the day. Being married for 20 years is obviously a momentous occasion.
Did Myra write this? Myra, get the fuck out! I am single and ready to mingle.
I was mingling with Stanley here. Fucking hell.
Anyway,
So my parents had
Married.
nice. See that?
So my parents had booked a table at our favorite Italian restaurant. You're not invited, Stanley. You do not like spaghetti.
You can't eat spaghetti.
I cannot eat spaghetti.
You eat the meatballs. No, 'cause you're vegetarian.
I don't eat
And you're Jewish.
I don't eat.
Oh, Stanley's Jewish. Everybody, he's Jewish. I'm sorry.
people.
He doesn't eat meat.
I think Ryan's.
He is Jewish!
I'm not actually Jewish.
Yes, you are. You literally said yesterday you're gonna become Jewish.
You might as well be.
You might fucking well be Jewish, you know it.
You don't
We
eat
eat your
pork.
Torah.
You like the First Testament. You don't eat pork.
You said the newest one was shit and don't read it.
Okay, can we Jesus?
Not to be controversial, but Jesus, no.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, this was a formal occasion, so I had my best suit on. Yeah, my birthday suit, baby. That's my best suit.
Fucking read.
It was 5:33.
So he remembers exactly what time it is, but can't remember what day it was or if it was raining or being
It might
sunny.
have been sunny, but it was definitely
It's fine.
5:33 p.m.
5:33 and 26 seconds. Oh, it was laggy for someone again. Fuck's sake. I'm sorry if it's laggy. I can't handle it.
We have no control.
Is it okay now? Can I keep going?
I think it's okay. I think it might just be laggy for that one person because I haven't seen anyone else complaining it's
Is
laggy.
it laggy for
It's
anyone
okay.
else?
Everyone's saying it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna just continue. I'm
I'll
sorry.
keep going. And I was just straightening my time when my phone went off. I'd received a message. That's strange, I thought. That never happens. I'm a fucking loser and no one ever messages me.
Is that actually what it said?
No,
Oh.
I added that.
Well, it was accurate.
A little bit of ad-lib there.
Very
Yeah.
good.
I checked the message. It was from my mum.
Who is my money?
It was my mummy.
Hello, love. Hello, love.
Okay.
I'm here from you. Why are you still alive?
No, this is the mum's wedding anniversary.
Ah.
So like,
Okay.
why
didn't you wish me a happy fucking wedding anniversary, you cunt? Carry on.
Please.
Yeah,
keep
sorry.
yawning. It was quite a jumble of numbers and letters, but through the vocabulary stew, I could make out the legible phrase, "Please help me."
Vocabulary. Please help me. I got stew on the stove. Please help me.
Basically, they relieve. Like there was a message.
Relieved.
They're in their house, they're getting dressed to go to this meal.
It's
They're just
basically
doing
a
their
spirit
time.
box message they got.
Maybe.
Basically, like
It was like,
Please help me.
Okay.
Okay.
It should go without saying that this worried me greatly, so I immediately replied, "Are you okay?" Just as instantly, I got another text which read, "Oops, pocket text." I sighed with all relief I had and continued to prepare myself.
That was the murderer.
Yes. A few minutes later, I received yet another message, this time from my dad. I checked the text, and once again, it was a massive mixture of letters and numbers with the phrase, "Please help me," concealed within. Creepy though this was, my dad was always a joker, so I presumed he was just joking around.
Yeah, I thought you texted
having
Mum
love.
sent me, so I take the piss.
Just having a laugh, just having a giggle. Until I was sent another text saying, "Oops, pocket text." Now this sparked panic. Pure, unmistakable panic. Exactly half a minute passed when I received the exact same message from my sister. This could not be coincidental. It just couldn't. In a state of sheer anxiety, I started to run to the restaurant. By foot. I made
Yes,
it about...
because if they're being murdered at home, they ain't gonna be in the restaurant.
Hang on!
Hang on.
I made it about a quarter of the way there before I was stopped by a police officer. "Main road's closed," he said. "Huge car crash." This was the exact moment I realized just what had happened. I demanded to see the wreckage. A request I'm surprised was allowed.
So am I. That's a
Yeah,
crime
so
scene.
am I.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been allowed. They would have been like,
No.
fuck off.
When I got there, it wasn't the remnants of the car that caught my eye, not the flames billowing from the destroyed vehicle. No, I was horrified to see the lifeless corpses of my mother, father, and sister.
Oh.
I asked for the estimated time of their deaths. All three of them were killed instantly by the collision at 5:32. Oh!
They had 1 second to
Oh.
They,
less than
1 minute after they died, they texted them with, "Help me."
Wow. Is that it?
Where did the oops pocket text come from?
That's true. So you're telling me they died? The ghosts were like, help me, oops, pocket deck.
So basically, the Reaper turned up, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Come with me," and they're like, "No, I need to call for help," and the Reaper's just like, let me just get out my pink mobile and cancel that.
I know.
It's
Pocket text. I'm like, hold on, I can sort this. It's pocket text.
You're not meant to contact them.
Stop it!
Stop it!
Look, I said I listened to your one request. It didn't mean you had one text.
You're breaking our cover. Give me your phone.
Oh my god, and then the Grim Reaper got dressed up as a policeman and I had to show him the corpses just to prove that they were dead.
I
Yeah,
have
oh
a
my God.
funny, creepy story.
Oh, is this a real-
regarding the Grim Reaper?
Oh, alright.
What, in your noggin?
Yeah.
In
Oh,
your noggin.
This happened to me.
Oh, shit, alright.
And
It is
so,
like
story time.
Story time with Stanley.
So,
Story
basically,
time.
when I was in year 5,
Yeah,
so
fucking hell, you're fine.
Oh,
Grim
you
Reaper,
were
you're
year
fine.
5, so in year 5 I was 10.
Okay.
Alright.
Um,
Well, at least you're punching double digits there.
So this primary school went to basically an activity like adventure place.
Oh, like an
Morph-
adventure
Yeah, Morpher
space.
Bay, so it's in Wales.
Oh, okay, okay.
And we went there, and it was the penultimate night before we were going to leave. So all the kids were outside, like playing in the park. And then instantaneously, every single child that was there started crying at exactly the same time.
What?
I didn't cry. I don't know why, but I just remember everyone around me crying, and I was like, this is horrifying. And then my friend who was with me was just like,
Were they
Oh.
crying?
yeah, they were like sobbing. And he was just like, well, you know what they say, when the Grim Reaper walks past, people cry. And I was just like,
And you were 10?
we were 10. People were going like crazy. People were trying to throw themselves into the road and stuff.
Oh, people were trying to. You've told me about
You've
this.
told us
before.
this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kids were trying to like kill themselves.
Yeah, they're trying to throw themselves into the road, and everyone was crying. And my friend just came out with that one.
Mass hysteria.
And yeah, just mass hysteria fell.
Oh my god.
And then I came back the next year being like, time to be Ghostbusters, but I was too scared.
Oh, very good story, Stanley.
Yeah.
And that one was real.
That was real. It happened to me. It was horrifying.
Alright, I believe that it's actually. Did you think you heard the door knock then?
I
also thought I heard that.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't smell. So.
Wait, I can hear.
No, it might be upstairs. It could have been.
Yeah, it was upstairs. If you guys see anything move behind us, please tell us, because I will shit myself.
Actually, maybe.
You've
don't,
read
because
2
I-
stories now, right?
Yeah,
Time for
it's
Stanley. Do you want to include that story you just told us one, or would you like to read 2 fresh stories?
I don't mind. I can read. Fresh. Did you want to do an
Let's-
interactive one then? Because I mean, it's not going to be.
Yeah,
real,
fuck
but
it.
It gets some.
And get some ha-ha hoo-hees. Okay.
So this one is an actual, like, just a fake story, but it's a choose your own adventure, so it's more interactive. So this should be fun.
You gotta make sure that we don't look at the screen.
Okay.
Otherwise we're gonna.
Just make eye
Well,
contact
it's all
with me,
blocked
Percy.
off.
Make eye contact with
So
me.
you just need to give like numbers.
I can't make eye contact.
Yeah, I
with
know,
the
my face is covered
messages.
by messages. Just pretend I'm there.
Okay.
You're walking your dog Rufus, and you see an abandoned house. Do you explore, walk away, or let Rufus decide?
Fucking walk away. Who goes into a fucking abandoned house?
Well, I wanted to let Rufus decide, but you know.
Why about we rock, paper, scissors to see who wins?
Okay.
Fuck, okay, Rufus.
We're
Okay,
letting
guys.
Rufus decide. How do you uncover it? Do you have to click it?
Rufus pulls towards the door of the house. Looks like you're going in.
Oh.
Go to 7.
I hate you.
The door is locked. Do you break a window, or do you shoulder barge the door?
Shoulder barge the door.
Yeah, go for it.
Safer than breaking a window, isn't it?
Oh, break your shoulder instead. Good idea.
Well, yeah, you could cut your wrist open onto broken glass, you fucking moron.
You ram the door, bruising your shoulder, but you're in. You want a weapon. There's
Why
not
do you want a
much-
weapon?
Well, you're going in an abandoned house.
Why are you going in
You're
an
going
abandoned
in an able house. You need a fucking weapon.
Fine, okay, you need a weapon.
But there's not much around. Do you choose
By the way, my dog Rufus is a Pomeranian.
Fucking hell. Alright.
a dusty broom handle or a creepy doll?
Shove the broom handle up your ass.
What, you want the broom?
Yeah, with the fucking broom handle.
You're not getting the creepy dog.
Why would you pick up a creepy doll in an abandoned house? You should break into it with your fucking Pomeranian!
Yeah, let's go with the broom handle then.
Okay.
I'll let him have this one.
went to the wrong one. Excuse me. Let's hide.
Are you okay,
I've seen
Stanley?
it now.
Are you
I didn't
alright,
wanna-
Stanley?
I didn't know what number it was though, so I didn't want.
Okay. There are no rocks nearby.
Rocks?
What? Are you on the right one?
You on the right one?
It said. Wait.
Oh, you.
Stanley!
No, 6. I was right the first time.
Okay.
A young girl. appears.
A young girl appears. Oh, this is an old one, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
A young girl appears. Do you try to befriend her, or hit her with the broom handle?
Probably shrieking with the broom.
Why do you go for the opposite?
I'm not gonna lie. You're in an abandoned house that was locked from the outside, right? You've come in. It's dusty as fuck. No one's there. It's dark. Then this little creepy girl is just stood there, Percy. You're gonna start having a chit chat, ask her about the weather. No, I don't think so. You batter her and you fucking run.
Is there a third option?
No.
No.
For you turn around and you go,
Hello, love. If you want,
That would be befriend her.
if you want to befriend her, you're gonna have to rock paper scissors me for it.
no, I want to hit her with the
Thank
broom handle.
you.
Let's go. Oh, number 1.
The girl is angry. The broom handle whips out of your hands and lodges itself down your throat. You suffocate. You are dead.
Well, she was.
Now you
She was
see
evil
that's
then.
your fault.
You see?
Can we try befriending
All
her?
right, let's try befriending.
Right, let's go see. So reversing time.
I mean, deep
We're going to 18. We're
deep
befriending
throating
her.
to the max, that innit? How'd you die? Deep throating.
The young girl tries to take your hand and lead you away. Do you go with her? Or do you refuse and stay where you are? Well, we know the answer to that one.
Go with her, I fucking guess.
Go with her.
Ghosts appear. You fall to the floor and cannot move. Eventually, you die of dehydration, surrounded only by apparitions. So, you'll either be choked to death by a broom handle,
Oh my god,
or
dehydrated
you'll
to death.
dehydrate to death while
This is a
surrounded by
bit
ghosts.
shit, I'm not gonna lie.
Can
Let's
we
move
try?
on.
Can we try? No, I want to see what the other ones are. I want to try and get the other ones.
Okay, shall we go back to the...
Go right to the beginning.
So walk away.
Yeah, let's
That's
go
the
with
one you
walk
do.
away.
If you walk away from the house, despite Rufus pulling towards the house, you return home. That night, he goes missing. Do you go looking for him at the house, which takes us back to
the
exploring
house.
the house? Or do you hope he comes home, which will lead to a different answer?
Let's say hope he comes home.
Yeah, I ain't going to fucking no creepy house another
I
fucking
don't
night.
appreciate the dog might be hurt later.
Yeah.
After waiting 3 days, Rufus returns.
The
But
dog's
he
possessed.
doesn't seem himself.
The dog's possessed.
Do you ignore it, happy he's back, or take him to the house to try and figure out why?
No, you take it to the fucking vet!
Take it. The happy's back.
Abby's back!
Rufus attacks you in your sleep. Your jugular bitten, you bleed out and die.
Alright, this story's shit.
Wait, no, I want to see what the other one was. Okay, so the other one is you go to the house.
Yeah.
You break the window.
Break the window, so that's 15. There are no rocks yet nearby, so you wrap your arm in your sweater and punch the window.
Your sweater vest. Sorry.
It breaks, but you cut yourself. Do you even get medical attention like you should? Or continue anyway? Both will lead
Well,
to
I
new
mean,
answers.
I'd go to the fucking hospital, but I know Percy would continue anyway because he's a fucking idiot. I mean, I do kind of want to know if you go to the hospital what will happen.
Yeah. Let's leave no
Yes.
medical attention. Number 8.
As you turn to leave, Rufus slips away. You chase around the side of the house and find an open cellar door with steps leading down. Do you enter? Or grab him and leave for medical attention?
Grab him and leave for medical attention. Your arm is bleeding.
Yeah, we've already seen the other answer. You get halfway down the driveway before you pass out from blood loss, dying before you're found. A handcuff?
I know.
Alright, that's it, Percy. No,
No.
more.
What happens if you pick the doll? That's all I want. What happens if you pick the doll?
The creepy doll, number 9.
Number 9. Creepy doll.
The doll starts to speak to you because of course it does.
Of course.
You try to figure out what she's saying, or throw her to the floor in fear.
Let's
I
try and
would
figure
throw
out
it
what
to the
she said.
floor in fear, but
Yeah,
sure.
but if you
Ghosts
throw
appear.
it to the floor, ghosts appear and you die of dehydration for some reason.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and figure out what she's saying.
Alright.
The doll is asking you to go to a different room. Do you agree and go? Or do you refuse and smash her to the floor?
Oh, let's refuse and smash it to the floor.
Then you die of dehydration with ghosts.
And if you agree to go, then the young girl appears.
And you dehydrate.
And then she knows.
Alright, let's smash it. Fuck it.
Ghosts appear.
Oh, is that the answer?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
Can we move on now, please?
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God, Stanley. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright.
Whoa.
Let's go to a non-interactive one.
The Man on My Patio by Stanley Uris.
Alright.
Alright.
This is a long one, apparently.
The man on my patio. Okay, so this happened when I was around 9 years old. I'm 25 now. Hey.
I'm 25 now.
It's something I will never forget. It gives me goosebumps to this day. I lived in a terrace house, 4 houses combined, and my neighbours and I...
4 houses combined? How big is this fucking house?
No, it's just 4 houses next
It's
to
a
each other.
terrace.
Oh, you know, like semi-detached where there's 2 houses.
Yeah, I thought you meant he lived in a house that had been like converted from 4 houses for a sec. I was like, fuck me, that's a mansion. Okay.
So we lived in a terrace house, and the neighbours and I each have our own little patio. There's a small road 10 metres from my yard where people do their Sunday walks and so on.
Oh, there's like some
Only a,
fucking middle village nowhere in it. Bullshit.
only a small fence separates my small yard and patio from that road. I live in a pretty crowded area with several of these terraced houses spread around the neighbourhood, so seeing people walking on that road is pretty normal to me. Seeing random people standing on my patio, however, is not.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking
When
God.
I was 9, I usually got home from school about an hour before my mum got
Oh
home
fuck,
from
this
work.
is a child as well.
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell.
Wonderful.
I lived maybe 50 metres away from school, so my mum figured I was mature enough to be able to go home alone for around an hour before she got home.
Oh.
This one day I got home from school. I did the usual thing, which was make sure I locked the front door and double checked that the back door leading to the patio was also locked. I was 9, being alone was a little scary even though it was in the middle of the day and only for 1 hour. I then rushed to my room upstairs to play as much PlayStation as possible
That's
before
fair.
my mum came home and made me do homework.
I mean, that's pretty realistic so far. I'm not gonna lie. When I was
Yeah.
left home alone, which I was, I'd have to check and make sure the doors were locked and everything as well. You know, you're just expected to make sure you.
Yeah.
While playing, I heard this noise coming from outside my window. My room was located 1 floor above the patio with the view to the road I told you about before. It was kind of like the sound of a cat, but my cat had been missing for over 3 months. Hope sparked and I thought, oh my god, did he finally come back?
I mean, cats do fuck off for quite a while as well. When they come back.
Sometimes they just find a better home. And then people steal those cats. But that's
Is that from experience,
that's
Stanley?
a different story about my cats. Anyway.
Anyway, I didn't steal no cats. Anyway.
I ran downstairs to check if it was my cat, but the sight that met me gave me goosebumps just writing this. There was a guy standing on my patio, a tall guy with black hair covering half his eyes.
Emo.
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 Making him look like a male version of the Ring Woman or something. I could hear him making high-pitched sounds, almost like a cat meowing. A brown liquid was running down from his mouth.
Oh, it's Nabel Eddie!
Eddie, for
Emo
fuck's
Nabel
sake!
Eddie?
Emo Nabel Eddie!
But,
He's got your face
there's a
on.
key
Let me in,
difference.
I need the
There's
bathroom!
a key difference proving that this isn't you.
Okay.
Tall.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that could be it. Oh.
And I could see him spitting out my dad's stuff. He's fine. Stomp cigarettes. He was spitting out stomp cigarettes from his dad. Anyway, he was actually eating from the ashtray.
Oh! Fucking hell.
I was frozen
dirty
observing
bastard.
this. Eventually snapped out of it and screamed so loud that the man must have heard it. He didn't react. He kept on eating from the ashtray.
Fucking hell.
I ran upstairs to my room, locked the door, and called my mum, who then called the cops. I've never been more terrified in my life. Lying in bed under the sheets, shivering with fear, as I hear these creepy, high-pitched noises from the guy eating cigarette stumps from the ashtray to my patio. I kind of blacked out for a moment because the next thing I remember is the police arriving on the road by my yard. I heard them talking to the guy, saying stuff like, "What are you doing? Get over here or we will come down and arrest you," and so on. He didn't respond, but the high-pitched sounds were more frequent and louder. I decided to look through my window, feeling safe now that the cops were there. I could see 2 police officers standing by my fence, one man and one a woman. I did not see the creepy man, however, because he was standing directly 1 story under me and my field of view. The police jumped the fence, and I remember hearing the creepy guy screaming louder than anything I'd ever heard before. He charged the female police officer with full force, and he knocked her out cold.
Oh yeah, he just knocked her out
I
cold.
saw you skipping the swear word.
Did you? What was the swear word, Stanley? Oh, okay.
I'm a
Okay.
good Jewish boy.
And he reads his Torah.
The male officer then immediately tased the guy, leaving him shaking on the
fucking hell, he
ground,
tased
screaming
him.
still. The policeman struggled to keep him on the ground while putting handcuffs on him and eventually made it. After a while, he managed to wake up the female police officer, who seemed to be badly hurt. He called for backup and an ambulance, and then he sees me standing in the window above him. The expression on my face must have been something else, because he just looks at me and said, "I sure as hell hope you didn't see all that." I started to cry. By this time, neighbours started to arrive,
Oh my
wondering
God.
what the hell was going on.
Wait,
One-
was it the guy who said that or the police officer?
The police officer
Oh, okay.
said that to him. The police
Right.
officer looked up, saw his expression,
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, I hope you didn't see all
and was
that.
like,
Right. Shit, there's a child there. A child.
one of my neighbours, an elderly woman,
An elderly woman.
made me come down, and she took care of me until my mum came back home.
Good lady.
The police took the creepy guy with them in the car and left. Before they left, they promised to come back and talk to us about what had happened. This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Oh, that was unexpected.
Oh yeah, this is where the unexpected turn comes in. Not him eating fucking ash out of the ashtray.
Yeah.
The police officer came back later that night and sat down with me and my mum to talk. He explained that the guy on my patio was actually diagnosed with severe autism. He had escaped a facility where mentally challenged people live, located around 5 kilometers from where I live. He explained that the guy had actually been living in my house 5 years ago, but he had been forced to move when his mum, his only caretaker, died. The poor guy probably thought he would find his mum in the house. He missed the routines and he missed living there with his mum. The police had to move him from the house that time 5 years ago because he was extremely strong. From what I heard,
Did he kill his
He
mum and
had-
eat her ashes? He did, didn't he? He ate her ashes, and that's why he was eating the fucking ashtray.
from what I heard, he had extra tensions in his body caused by the autism, making his muscles grow stronger and stronger throughout the years.
Is that
This-
true? That sounds like bullshit to me.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But then this is a 9-year-old, like a memory from a 9-year-old.
Oh, true. It's like how when you
So-
see a horse and it looks like a fucking mountain.
Or it's how when like someone explains something to you when you're 9 and then you latch onto it and it warps over time
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're just like, I heard that this happens.
And you're like, no.
So
Okay.
it,
So he was a big muscular man.
from this apparent guy's memory, that's what he thinks could have happened.
Yeah.
This was the reason he reacted the way he did when the police came this day. Still frightened, I told the police that he needed to make sure this would never happen again. He promised it wouldn't. After a few sleepless nights, my life got back to normal. The years went by and the guy didn't come back until 1 year ago. So this
Oh, fucking
would have
hell.
been- the guy would have been 24. At this time, my mum and dad had moved out.
Oh, fuck, so he's there alone.
I bought the house from them and was still living there today.
Oh my god, I wouldn't stay in that
Yeah.
house.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do
Legit.
I was enjoying my morning coffee on the patio. Also, 24 and being able to pay for help. It's like,
What imaginary bullshit is this? This story's fake!
Yeah, and when your mum and dad move out the house rather than you
You.
moving out the house. What? I smell bullshit.
I was enjoying my morning coffee on the patio when I see this random guy stopping on the road by my fence. He stands there, looking at me. I looked at him. He gave a nod. You gave him a nod. He gave him a nod.
Who gave a nod?
The boy reading this gave a nod. And then I hear the high-pitched noises. Would you like to swear for me?
Holy shit, it's him.
Would you like to swear for me?
His hair had turned grey, but the high-pitched sounds made me realise. My heart started racing, and I instantly remembered the reason why he was back. I realised that he must have managed to escape again. Because I kept my cool a bit longer than when I was 9. Let me say 7 then.
I know, I was there, I was like, no, Stanley.
I started to realise how sorry I felt for this guy. 16 years later, and he was back to look for his mum. I decided to carefully ask him if he wanted to come down to the patio. He instantly jumped the fence. I started to think he would knock me out like he did that police officer. He didn't. He smiled. He looked at me and smiled. I offered him to sit down. He didn't respond. I offered him to come inside. He started laughing. We went inside. His face lit up with pure joy. He was home. It reminded him of the life he had with his mum. It almost made me tear up. All of a sudden, he sat down in my couch, turned on my TV, and switched directly to the cartoons. I observed him for a while. He was just completely focused on the cartoons. I just wanted him to enjoy the moment, so I didn't say anything to him. I realised I had to call the facility to let them know. The caretakers arrived 10 minutes later. After a lot of convincing, he got up crying, and they went back to the facility. I called the facility 2 days later. We made a deal. His name is Tom, and I now consider Tom my friend. Every Sunday from the day he returned, Tom and his caretakers visit me to watch cartoons. They say it's the highlight of his week.
That's kind of sweet.
It makes my heart warm. Now, for several years, my thoughts were, let's not meet guy on my patio eating from the ashtray. Now my thoughts are, let's meet every Sunday to watch cartoons, my friend Tom.
That's really sweet.
This is wow.
This is a true story.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a true
It's not
story.
exactly a
It's
spine tingling.
I mean, it's pretty fucking scary if
It
you're a
starts
kid.
off-
scary at the
It
start.
starts off kind of creepy. And
The
if
end
the
is
police
quite
hadn't
soft.
been there to explain.
Wait, so he dead ass escaped this facility twice?
Yeah.
How badly guarded is this facility?
But then
I dunno.
it took him 16 years to escape the second time.
Still, he managed to do it twice.
Different stuff, maybe.
Maybe, but that's kind of sweet. I like the idea
Yeah.
that he's looking after him, kind of.
Yeah, I like that it was just someone trying to go to their family.
And now
house.
he was like, oh, he's like, you know, he's not all this, so I'll fucking help him. You know, that's really sweet.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
like that. That was good.
I don't like that.
10 out of 10. Very nice. Right, is this just this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. Right. So, the man on my patio. What do you think?
That was cute.
That was cute?
Wasn't scary.
Wasn't
Oh,
it?
It was a bit unsettling when some dude looking like
Eating
the Rain
the ash
Girl was just chomping on some ashes. But
Yeah, you thought it was going to be he was fucking.
if I saw that at 9, I wouldn't want to live in that house ever again.
So
I'd
why
be
the
out
fuck
there.
did he buy it?
I don't know why he bought the house.
Maybe the parents wanted a
Who
better
fucking
house.
knows?
Maybe the parents had enough of him and was like, look, we'll sell you the fucking house. Just stay here.
You keep letting
But-
freaky men into the house to sit on our sofa to watch cartoons. We're fucking leaving.
We're fucking going. Right, okay. This one's called Come Here, Baby.
Come here, baby.
Come here, baby. What is it? What's the thing you do? The
What?
oh, baby. What is it?
Yeah, baby.
There we go. Come here, baby.
Come here, baby.
There we go. Okay, so
Okay.
you fellas ready?
Yeah, I suppose.
Do you have an issue?
I'm sorry, I'm just appreciating the person who posted this. They're called Arnold Schrodinger.
Oh my god, fucking hell. Okay, this one looks relatively short, by the way, so.
Okay.
Come here, baby.
Okay. A few years ago, I was living alone in a little house which had a heavy back door that would swell up after it rained and get really tough to open and make a lot of noise. Late one night, I had passed out on my sofa in the living room and room on the opposite side of the house but woke up to something which I am now assume was the back door being opened. Brackets, I'm an idiot, by the way, and I used to never lock the back door.
Don't do that. Look back on.
Right.
Please.
Netflix was still blaring on my laptop as I slowly squinted my eyes open and realised there was a black outline of someone standing still in my hallway looking down at me. They were not very large or tall based on how much space they took up in the door frame. What was that?
I was thinking the same thing, man.
Did you say that?
No.
Being completely disorientated in my waking state, my mind latched on to the first thing that came to mind, which was that it must be my girlfriend. I was naked at the time and pulled back my blanket with my legs sprawled and my junk and my junk hanging out and called to her in my best deep sexy voice. Is this me? Come here, baby. Yeah, it's Eddie. Eddie's the small person standing in the hallway. So imagine
Come here, baby!
Right? Upon discovering on a naked 6 foot, 200-pound man beckoning them into their genitalia, the not my girlfriend person immediately turned on their heel, revealing a large backpack and knocked it and booked it out the back door. By the time I stumbled up to the door, all I could hear was them taking off into the darkness full sprint. I can only guess,
That's one way
based
not
on
to
their
get
height,
robbed.
they did not come in here with the bold intention of being a little spoon.
So someone broke into the house.
This is a real story!
Intending to rob them. And they saw a penis and were like, I'm not gay enough for this.
Not just that, they literally imagine naked Richie Tozer with his schlong out under a blanket, takes off
here, baby!
and
Fucking hell.
Can you imagine that? You were just trying to rob someone, and then you see their dick, and then they look like they want to fuck you. Like,
What can I say?
that's good and also scary because someone dead ass
Did you
broke
read
into the
all
house.
of it?
That was it. Yeah,
Was that the end of it?
it was a short one, like the person in the hallway.
Even if it was just me visiting, I too would run.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'd be like, I'm not dealing with that.
Okay. So this one is called.
Fucking hell.
They're coming after me. You have to help me.
On
Okay.
this, I like it.
Okay, cool. Stop reading. Let Stanley read. You don't need to read. Okay. Are you guys still enjoying this?
We got 91 people.
I'm guessing you guys are enjoying this. You're vibing. Right. They're coming after me. You have to help me! Okay. Okay. When I was a teenager, my older brother moved out and my parents both worked late. So occasionally I would spend evenings by myself after school. We lived in the countryside a few miles outside of the town and had a good collection of neighbours. The day went as normally as ever. I went to school, got home, turned on the TV, had a snack and texted one of my friends who I had a crush on. It wasn't long after that I noticed a man outside of my house. He walked past a few times. He wasn't an ordinary person walking around the block. He looked scraggly and unkempt, a bit like Richie Tozer. I ducked as far as I could behind a chair, still trying to see him out of the living room window, hoping he didn't see me. Sorry, my ass was kicking in. But as soon as he came to the front door and knocked, I was texting my friend the entire time, increasingly getting freaked out.
Please help me.
They were dead.
Oops, pocket text.
As he knocked on the door, I stupidly went to answer. Why the fuck would you do
If
that?
you
You
see
hid behind the sofa
If
and then
you
you got
big man. Honestly, if I see anyone I don't recognise who knocks on my door,
You don't
then
answer it.
I'm not answering.
I
Yeah.
opened the door. A crack. There was a screen door separating myself and the man. I wasn't ready.
Green doors
I
stop them.
Yeah. I was ready to slam the door and lock it if anything happened. The man looked at me with a crazed, paranoid eyes. He had a large, dark beard and looked to be in his late 50s, early 60s. He seemed to be out of breath, his face drenched in sweat. He was larger too, more like the reason to keep my guard, I sheepishly said, "Hello? Hello?
Oh,
Please, call the police! They were after me!" he said in an exhausted smoker voice. Oh, do you want to give that a go?
I don't know if I can.
Please, call the police! They're after me! That was my best attempt.
That's
Okay.
terrible.
Well, you give it a go, you fucking
Well,
twat.
asthma. You could die if you tried hard.
I know, I
That's
literally am
true,
having
right?
trouble breathing right now. You
Yeah.
fat bastard. Right. I didn't mean it.
I fucking believe this. I'm getting booed.
Shut up, you could barely fit in your jeans a minute ago. Right.
This is true. I had to take them off.
It's small. He kept looking at the road and tensed whenever a car would occasionally pass by. Sorry, I'll say that a bit louder because I squeaked so high I don't think they heard it.
No, I could barely
You did?
understand
Okay.
that.
Who's after you?
Who's after you? Translation.
Yeah. I asked, getting ready to slam that door. I barely escaped. They were right behind me. Please, can I come inside? No, you may not. Put a condom on,
That's
you
how
dirty
you
fucker.
get murdered.
I'm pregnant. At this, I knew to call the police. Just wait here. I'll get someone to help. My heart was in my throat at this time. I didn't know.
Throat.
I didn't know if this guy was going to try and force open my door, so I quickly shut it and locked it. I ran to the back door and locked that as well as I called 911. So he's multitasking, pretty good. My heart was racing. I could barely tell the operator my information, but they said that they would send somebody out. It wasn't long until a patrol car arrived, but it felt like forever. The entire time I kept watching the man, who then walked into my driveway, pacing nervously. The officer got out and proceeded to talk with the man, and they got in the car and left. I have no idea what happened to him, nor if he was telling the truth. He could have been he could have been drunk or crazy, but it was genuinely fear in his eyes as I looked at him. Something truly scared him, and it scared me to think that that's someone out there that wanted people for whatever reason. So, for that crazed, scared man, whoever he was running from, let's not meet again. This was a true story.
Kind of unsettling, but also
Yeah.
Like, not scary, more
If I
like,
was-
what the fuck? Get off my
as
property!
someone
Yeah.
who doesn't appreciate strangers at my door, I wouldn't like it
Yeah.
because I'd be like, "Are you gonna murder me?"
I mean, I wouldn't let anyone in my
But-
house I don't know, full stop. I don't care if you're carrying, like, fucking a bag of bagels. I don't care if you got a dead corpse. You ain't coming in my house.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was unnerving.
yeah,
I
it was
would
a
say
bit
it was
awkward.
scary.
Like, I mean, why did he need to say he was texting the person he had a crush on? What did that have to do with anything?
He just wanted the world to
He
know.
wanted to know that he had a
He
crush
wanted
on
the
someone.
world to know. Crush, if you're out there.
I was thinking of you when I was nearly murdered by some man. Should we move up again? Which is, like, cut out.
I don't
We
know.
could go back to that one.
Yeah. We can read all of these.
Yeah, scroll up and down, Richie.
Ass is like sticking to the seat.
Are you guys enjoying this? I hope
Nice
so.
They said
people
yes
do.
last time.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Very nice. Look at you keeping an eye on that. I can't
I hope
fucking
they are
read.
enjoying this. I'm slowly.
I'm
falling
enjoying this. Are you falling asleep?
It's just that a nice little story's been read to me, you know?
Aw.
I'm just getting sleepy.
Would you
know?
like me to make you a hot chocolate with some marshmallows?
No, don't. I will fall asleep. There's a lot of yeses being said.
I'm
so-
glad. I'm glad that's not my cup. I'm sorry. I was just like fucking holding your cup. There you go. I'll hold this instead.
This one's titled Roommate Troubles.
Oh, don't.
What? Because you.
All right, let's go.
Okay, don't worry about it. Okay. This actually happened to me a few years back at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. Shout
Born
out to
and raised.
Philadelphia! Anyway,
Born and raised.
born and raised. My sophomore year, I roomed with a girl named Cara. Cara, you stupid bitch. She was a jazz vocalist. You
Ooh,
like jazz?
You like jazz, Cara?
But her main interest was opera.
Ah! What, Sally?
We had a small room on the 6th floor of a dormitory called Juniper Hall.
Why do I know
That's the Juniper is the name of the mental asylum in Derry.
It is.
Yeah.
I knew that. Did you see me? I was like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
Is it Juniper Hills?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
Juniper Hills. You're right. That's the one the fucking
Derry.
dick bag escapes from and stabs me in the face from.
Well.
Did you see what he did? You can't see it, but I got a fucking scar. Fucking asshole.
Stanley's here. He's alive.
I didn't. I was involved in any of this.
He was in fucking Buenos
Getting
Aires.
fucking dick by his girlfriend and fucking having
And
samosas and whatever.
Pina coladas.
Pina coladas.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, fuck. I could do with a pina colada right now, I'm not gonna lie.
We can maybe take a break in a second and have a pina colada.
Penis colada. Anyway, the walls were thin, and her last night's singing and voice practices.
Her
and-
late night.
Oh no, it says last.
Oh.
There's a spelling error. And
Late.
her late night singing and voice practices would keep me up late. After a month or so of lost sleep, I convinced her to move her late night practices to the music studios in the Merriam Theatre building a block away.
Otherwise, I'd literally kill her.
Yeah. Around 8 one evening, Cara announced that she would be practicing late for an upcoming recital and probably wouldn't be home until around midnight. Great, I thought.
I
That
can wank in
means-
privacy.
That means I can go to bed early. I was beat. I had a horrible day in acting studio and was ready to
He was an
pass
actor.
out as soon as I had dinner.
This is fucking Barry. From
Yeah, I
fucking-
know. She said goodnight and left, coffee and sheet music in hand. I made some grilled cheese and soup. Oh, fuck yeah. Gobbled it down and immediately began to prepare for bed. By the
This
time I
guy's a
got out of the
virgin.
shower, yeah. By the time I got out of the shower, my eyelids were
Yes, Richard's fucking calling stand-up comedian acting, you know, go
Yeah.
practice.
By the time I got out of the shower, my eyelids were so heavy I could hardly brush my teeth.
Yeah, that's what
What a wild night.
What a wild
I pulled on my PJs
You
and
pulled on
crawled
his
into the...
PJs.
I pulled on my PJs
You pulled
and
on someone
crawled
else as well.
into the top bunk of our bunk bed.
You just even a bunk bed.
He has a bunk bed. Fucking hell. I was out as
So you on
soon.
the top or the bottom of the bunk bed? I
Top.
need to know.
Top,
You're on the top of the bunk bed, are you sure?
apparently. I was out as soon as my head hit the pillow.
It's called concussion.
Didn't wake up the next morning, I was in a coma. I should take a second to describe the layout of our apartment. When entering the apartment, the bedroom was through a door immediately to the left. Our bathroom was inside the bedroom, just past the bunk beds. UARTS is nice in the sense that you don't have to
Touch my
share
muscles.
bathrooms. Anyway, I woke up to the sound of the apartment door closing. I opened my eyes.
For now, thank you.
I opened my eyes and groggily checked my phone. Midnight, on the dot. I rolled back over and closed my eyes. I heard Cara enter the room and stop in front of the bunk bed, checking to see if I'm actually asleep, I thought. She flopped down on the bed below. Like a fish.
What the fuck?
Flopping onto the bed.
Like a fish.
Like a dead fish.
Oh.
Bed below me, which was strange, as she was a stickler for brushing her teeth and washing up before bed. Then again, exams were just around the corner, and we were all exhausted, all spelt with an E on the end.
What?
Ali exhausted. The mattress below me creaked, and then was silent. I couldn't even hear her breathing.
Oh fucking hell! Someone's dumped their body, hasn't it?
That's reassuring.
I know.
I
fucking
started to drift off again. I was just on the edge of deep sleep when I startled awake again by a noise, a key in the lock, the door opening, and Cara entering our apartment, humming an opera tune. The mattress below me creaked.
hell. Oh shit! Someone else came in.
Someone who doesn't breathe, apparently.
Yeah.
Just lying on
Oh my god! And you're just laying there like, oh my god! I do not want to get involved.
What do I do? Do I tell her or do I
And
just
this
watch
is
the
why
scene
I
unfold?
also slide inside of my bunk beds.
Oh
No
god.
facts about me.
What, you had a bunk bed? I had a bunk bed.
I
Bunk
had,
beds are a bit
I
sad.
had a tall bed with a slide.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Oh,
I had a
I had a
slide
tall bed as well, but it didn't have a slide. It had stairs, and I would cover the bottom half and make it into a den.
It had stairs, but they were at the end of the bed where I thought the demons were. So I had a bookcase next to my bed, so I climbed the bookcase to get into my bed every night because
God.
I didn't trust the end of my bed.
Fair enough. Anyway, read.
That's
That's the
fair.
end.
That was the end?
That was the end, yeah.
Oh, well, fuck.
Yeah, I would barely ever use the stairs on my bed as well. I just like clamber up
Just
into
like
it.
throw yourself in.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
just hop onto the edge, hope that the bed doesn't tip over one day.
I do get scared of really open spaces. The idea that somebody could be hiding in an apartment somewhere really scares me.
Bunk beds are a bit creepy because you could be laying in bed and you don't know if
Something's underneath
you can't
you.
see underneath.
And
it.
also, if
Or
you're
you
on the
can't see
bottom, you
above
can't
it.
see what's on top.
Yeah.
And I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's not very fun. I mean, unless you know that someone's sleeping in there.
Unless you've
That's
got
fine.
Yeah.
Even then.
Even then, apparently.
Even then, anything can happen.
We've read Kids in the Dark.
There's the orphanage?
Oh, I don't know.
One irophage.
What the fuck does that mean?
Oneirophage. Oneirophage. The oneirophage.
It's a fucking Magic the Gathering card. What the hell?
We're not reading that one. That one, fuck off. You can fuck off, you little wank. Just read a different one. None of us will get it.
Well, it wasn't actually to do with Magic the Gathering. I just read the end of it. Do you want
I
us to just read
imagine
through
that
it
was just
anyway?
like a creature that's in magic.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read it anyway.
Are there any others that we haven't read? before this
Yeah,
one?
before you read that one.
But then one of you will have to read that one.
No, we won't. We'll choose a different one.
I sat on the bus.
Let's go with that one. That
Yeah.
picture is fucking... Show the picture, man.
It's a scary looking, just empty,
Decrepit bus.
school bus.
It's pretty creepy. It's pretty decrepit.
Oh, this one sounds like a poem. I sat on the bus on my way to school, listening to music and paying little to no attention to the other students. At one of the stops, my mind snapped back to reality. The Eminem.
Yeah, did you see my face? I was like,
I looked towards the small house. Tommy's house, I thought.
Tommy! Little bit of Tommy time!
A hand slipped through the drapes of the window and waved to the bus driver to move on. He's sick, I thought, paying no large amount of attention to the situation. The day flew by. I watched the local news channel after school, and what I heard paralyzed me.
Basically,
I'm
fuck.
paralyzed.
Fucking
I
hell,
have
what did you
paralysis
hear?
now. I broke my spine. Tommy's entire family was murdered that day by an unknown suspect.
Oh, so it was a killer waving
After
the bus
hearing
on.
the news, I moved back up to my room and quietly fell asleep. The next day, on the bus, we
I
drove
like how
past.
this is a little interactive dance.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm very much enjoying
We
it.
drove past Tommy's house, and the bus driver, unaware of Tommy's family's fate, stopped at his home. As I was about to get up and explain to her what had happened, something caught my eye. A pale hand slipped through the drapes of the window and waved the bus driver to move on. I sat on the bus, terrified.
I mean, everyone would watch the news in a small town. The bus driver was just being a sick fuck.
Maybe the bus driver lived out of town
Maybe.
and drove in with the bus and just
What, you just lived on the bus? That's their home now.
You know, more than one kid can wait at a bus stop. It wasn't just Tommy's bus stop. Like,
Well, apparently so.
Stanley, would you like to read
Stanley.
Seaweed? Sure.
Stanley's turn.
This one's called Seaweed.
Seaweed.
My grandmother grew up in the slums of Prohibition-era Chicago.
Wow.
Her family lived in a small house near the harbour, and one of the earliest memories was of a particularly hot summer when, seeking respite from the heat, she and her sister discovered a seldom used section of boardwalk near an abandoned warehouse. Every night for several weeks, the two girls would make their way.
Just touched mine, Stanley. He just struck me with his foot.
Are you playing footsie?
Footsie's entertained,
Yeah.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Every night for several weeks, the two girls.
Stop stroking your feet
I
together.
know, you were doing it now. It's just so funny.
Two
wait.
girls.
He's
would
trying to read, Richard.
I know.
The two girls would make their way down to the docks and sit together on the edge of the pier as the sun went down.
Stop touching his feet!
Sorry, I'm just imagining going on a double dinner date with Stanley and Patty
And he
and
thinks
you. And I think that I'm stroking Eddie's leg under the table, but it's fucking Stanley.
and Stanley's just looking at Patty all confused. And Eddie's just talking to Patty and he's wondering why you look like you're confused and why you look
making eyes at you.
yeah, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? And it only comes out like 2 nights later or something where like Stanley's like, yeah, I think Patty's really into me. She's rubbing my foot all through that meal. And Richie's like, you what?
Wait, what? I'm
That's
sorry,
funny.
Patty.
What is
Oh,
it says
rubbing
high
it back.
mobile data usage.
What if you started rubbing it?
What did you say?
What did I say? Just rubbing it back?
But it wasn't his leg, it was like Eddie's leg or something, and he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Or you start giving me a little foot massage under the
Thinking it's your wife.
Wow, these are big.
What the fuck?
We're not used to this size.
Babe, it said high data usage. Do you want to check?
I'm gonna assume it's fine and we'll
I
continue.
imagine it's just like the day limit.
It's probably just gonna be a little warning.
Alright, well, I'm paying for your fucking phone bill this month, so be nice to me. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, actually. Yeah, he starts rubbing his feet and he's like, no, I don't remember my wife, sorry, my girlfriend, whoever this is, wearing black socks to dinner. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and like, you're trying to make eyes at your girlfriend, but she's completely ignoring you.
Just talking to you.
Yeah, and you're like,
having a chat.
what the fuck? She's got a great poker face. Meanwhile, Richie's just like, I'm really enjoying it. You know, he's like absent of human contact. So he's just like melting on the table, drooling.
I feel like the only option after that would be amputation.
Well, yeah,
Your
My
hands
own-
on my foot.
No, my own leg. It's the only way.
Richie and Eddie like go like they're like on Richie's like I'm going for a smoke break, you know, Eddie's like you know fucking don't do that, it's bad for you. Anyway, he takes Stanley outside, you know, to like fucking have a smoke break, and Richie's like, yeah, I think Eddie really likes me, he's playing footsie with me all night, and then Stanley's just like starts like fucking perking up.
Just leaves.
Just he's like, Patty, we're leaving, grab your coat.
Grab the 3 breadsticks. We're going.
Richie falls back. He's like, what the fuck's going on?
And then he's like, anyway, Eddie, do you want to come back to mine tonight? And he's like, what the fuck?
I can never recover from this. So I've decided to lay down and pass away.
I've decided to pass away. This story is 2 paragraphs long.
No, we're talking about Stanley playing footsie with Richie on a double dinner date on accident. Fucking hell.
We just want to be straight in peace. But no.
Surrounded by homosexuals. Constantly.
Right. So the 2 girls.
Yes.
Every night for several weeks, the 2 girls would make their way down to the docks and sit together on the edge of the pier
Yeah.
as the sun went down.
That's kind of a bad time to go. I know you like the sun.
As the sun went down, you know, you could fall off and die.
Yeah, I guess it'd be
You
pretty,
could
but
drown.
like you should never do anything actually in a routine like that, because if someone like notices you're doing stuff in a routine like that, obviously it makes it easier for production and things.
Can
It's
we
like
just
how,
finish the story?
Fuck off! It's like how apparently when you walk home and shit, or when you go to work, you should always take alternate routes on different days, like just mix it up, otherwise people will clock you as doing that. Carry on.
PSA.
You will get kidnapped if you walk the same way every single day of your life.
My grandmother vividly and for a time fondly recalled the feel of the seaweed between her toes, and she and her sister dangled her feet into the murky water. Oh no, it's open waters again.
I already read ahead to the end because
Why?
look, I got a bit antsy and I read ahead to the end because it's 2 paragraphs long.
It wasn't until years later that she returned to the pier and found that the warehouse had been demolished. Curious, she made an inquiry with the Department of Planning and Development.
I know.
Apparently-
Now.
Apparently, the warehouse had been owned for a time by the mob, who were using it as a base of operations for a local prostitution racket. It had only been uncovered when an associate began disposing of rival hookers by fitting them with concrete shoes and dumping them into the harbour.
Oh, fuck.
Investigating officers had recovered nearly 24 bodies from the waters of a secluded pier nearby. How had the bodies been discovered? A passing fisherman spotted some of the victims' hair floating near the surface of the water like seaweed.
Oh.
They were dipping their toes in the hair. Hookers.
Oh my god, that's gross. Hooker juice. Do you want to bang my whore wife? Oh, I hit my neck. I mean,
And if anyone was wondering, that's not real. That was a creepy part.
not really that scary. More of a, like, I like
More
scary
of a-
when it's happening now, not when
Yeah.
it's happened and you've,
That
had a
was
life-changing
a-
thing.
That would be unsettling. I already don't like the thought of putting my feet into water that I can't see through.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
And feeling like weird textures.
gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to find out that it's hair, which is unsettling in itself.
I mean, yeah, like
Dead
grudge.
people hair is like really
I
gross.
mean, were they dead when they were trying to claw up at you to help? In the water. They put something on life, like reaching up trying to help.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
seaweed
the-
is their
yeah,
little
yeah,
fingers.
Have you read Tuna?
The thing is,
Probably.
Yeah.
Who knows?
the thing is, wouldn't their arms float?
I mean, how
Upwards.
deep? I mean, depends on how long the hair is, doesn't it?
Wouldn't their arms float?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it depends how
it'd
long
probably
the
go
hair
like
is.
this.
Yeah.
It wouldn't necessarily go directly up.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
Okay, you ready?
What is this one? This isn't one we've opened. You're just on the page now.
Oh no. Okay,
Yeah.
bear
You
with
can
me.
just scroll through and find one if you want.
Okay. My neighbor tries claiming my house.
That sounds
It
intriguing.
seems intriguing. Let's have a look.
All right.
This happened a little bit ago, about a month. It was a bizarre experience to say the least. I'm 15, and I was playing some video games before passing out. It was about, say, 11 p.m. when I hear the doorbell ring.
Can answer a door if it's
And
night.
now, out of instinct, I begin walking downstairs. But about halfway there, rationality came to my mind. Who the fuck rings a doorbell at 11 p.m.? I silently
Moments.
strode back upstairs and stood in my hall, kinda expecting something bad to happen. An exact minute later, it rings twice. My parents begin to leave their room and give me a quizzical look, and I had to respond with a shrug. Then, he starts banging the door. My mother jumps at the first bang, and my father's eyes widened, but more confusion than fear. He decided to go downstairs and peek through the view hole. It was our neighbour. My dad hesitantly opened the door, and I could hear my father's voice trembling slightly. Hey, what do you need? Next thing I hear is an entire full-blown screaming argument from our neighbour, claiming that this was his house, and that we'd stole it from him. My father's uneasiness was quickly replaced with annoyance, and he simply shut the door without giving our neighbour the time of day.
In your face.
Literally. My dad stepped on
Fuck
the
off.
My dad stepped on the first step going up the stairwell when our neighbour first hit the door. I'm not talking about banging with a fist. I mean, this man was body slamming it. My father was stunned, and for a second, and my neighbour charged the door again. This time, we began to hear the splintering of wood. Everyone reacted at once. My father went to brace the door with his body, and my mother went to get the other two kids, and I went for 911.
Someone's got a brain cell.
The body slamming ensued for another 5 minutes, and while I was stuck on the phone with 911, it stopped. I thought it was over, and I was relieved, but I was still stuck on the
Did
phone.
he knock himself out from body slamming
know.
the door?
I go to peek out the front window of my house, and boy, it was only getting started. Our
boy.
neighbour took his Jeep Wrangler and simply directed it straight at our house. We had zero clue what he was doing until he hit the gas, and we heard squealing of tires. Then he immediately hit the brakes. He was trying to scare us out of the house. I was still on the phone with 911, and I stepped away from the window to comfort my siblings, crack jokes and such. Eventually, police arrived and arrested him. The next morning, I left the school, still shaken from the night before. I stepped onto our front steps and saw tire marks leading up from our front door. The lunatic actually nearly rammed our door with his car. I really never want to see this cunt ever again. It literally says that word. But he lives directly next to the right. Fuck my life. Edit. Alright, I don't know if it was mental illness or not. I'm sorry, and no, I'm not going to physically harm him via a blade or a bullet. Stop suggesting that. Edit 2. No, I do not care if he threatened us. The situation was resolved and no one was harmed. Stop saying I/my father would have hurt him. There was no need. Rationality over emotion. And no, not even I trust my guardian with a firearm, and I would probably be the best candidate for it. But I doubt my father will buy a gun and rely on his 15-year-old son to use it. Best that I wait until I'm of age. Crazy Americans in the comments be like, kill him.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't shoot your neighbours.
That's kind of weird. Imagine your
Shoot neighbours.
neighbour thinking that you're in his house and fucking nearly driving his car. That's 11 p.m. Oh, he must have been wasted, man.
Drugs.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right.
And that was a true story.
Is this the one you did?
No,
no, that's
this is
not
like
the one I
Hmm.
some interactive web game, but the thing
Did you
is,
have to download it? Is that the issue?
no, you can play it. It's just people won't be able to see what we're playing, will they?
No point in that then.
Did you close the other tab, which had the other story in it, that you didn't want me to read?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Ah.
Should we do one more and then call it a night?
Sure.
Yeah.
You're
That was a
already,
very delayed response, but yeah.
You're already looking for one, so.
Okay. How long have we been filming for, fellas? Oh, it's nearly 2 hours, so let's just go for that mark again. Why
Go
not?
Sleep Reddit.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you how to find a good one?
Yes. Well, it's your turn now anyway.
Is it my?
Well, it's not. It's my turn. But Stanley did one. I did one. So. And it's
Alright.
funny when you read them because you give us a little rat-a-tat-tat.
Razzle dazzle, you know.
Rat-a-tat-tat. Right, let's have a look what the comments are saying then. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. What have you guys been talking about then since we've been reading you horror stories? No, come back. I want to see. Fact juice. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I've been seeing them sending this for the
Yeah.
last 2 hours, and I'm like, what the fuck are you people talking about?
Razzle dazzle 'em. They're all saying fact juice. Did one of us say that on accident?
I don't know.
Did one of us say that, or is this just something you guys have
Is
come
this
up with?
just a weird meme that we don't understand because we're too old or something?
It might be a meme. Don't ask. It looks
Don't
like
ask.
it's a meme.
All right. You know what though? What was the pomegranate joke? With the juice.
Crimson juice.
Crimson juices.
It
Crimson
might be
juices.
that.
Is it the crimson juices, fellas?
Oh, he is a nice creepy one.
They're just all saying fact juice, and I don't know why.
I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I mean, it'd be great if we knew the joke too,
I would
fellas.
love
Yes!
Okay.
Does the yes
Yes.
mean yes to the pomegranate?
So is it the crimson juice? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it's
Okay.
crimson juice. Okay.
Is it the crimson
Yeah,
juice?
it's crimson
I
juice.
can't
Yeah,
believe-
it's crimson juice. Fact juice is crimson juice.
Okay. Sure.
The pomegranates.
The first story, the fucking pomegranate.
And then I sliced into my right, and it was
pomegranates.
Pomegranate.
She gave birth to the fact juice.
She gave birth and just a fucking pomegranate rolled out. She didn't know she was pregnant. She went to the toilet.
Shout pomegranate.
Yeah, a pomegranate. Okay.
Alright.
This one's called Something Walks Whistling Past My House Every Night at 3:03.
Could it just be someone who gets off work around that time?
Well,
There are night shift workers.
I just say exactly 3:03. Okay, let me stop. Every night, no matter the weather, something walks down our street whistling softly.
I'm going to turn the fan off for a sec, 'cause my throat hurts.
Oh, so we'll just sit here in silence.
Sounds... No, yeah, shut up. Shut up, you whore.
You know, it's more eerie when we're sitting here in silence.
It is a bit. Right,
Can
yeah.
everyone hear the fan then?
I don't think anyone has mentioned the fan, but I think they'll be able to hear us a bit better now.
Okay.
It's really unsettling.
I'm glad I managed to say this shit out.
Fucking hell. Stop it. I mean,
It wasn't scary. It's just unsettling now. There's a
Yeah,
layer of silence.
Yeah.
Great, let's do this. There we go.
Apparently it was really loud. I'm sorry.
Was it? I'm so sorry.
We're really warm. We couldn't have sat here with it off this whole time.
We wouldn't have been able to survive this long. Right, let's go.
Okay.
Oh, that's better,
Wow,
isn't
it's
it?
really fucking quiet.
Maybe you didn't have to shout after all. Maybe it's just a fan.
You can only hear it if you're in the living room or the kitchen when they walk by, and it always starts at exactly 3:03. The sound starts faint somewhere near the beginning of the lane near the Carson place. We're towards the middle of the street, so the whistling just moves past us before fading away in the direction of the cul-de-sac. Oh, well, you live in a cul-de-sac, mate, of course. When I was younger, my sister and I would sneak into the kitchen some nights to listen. Mum and Dad didn't like that, and
Why would you
purposely
sneak
do that?
in to listen to some creepy person whistling?
I know. And we'd catch hell if they found us out there. But they were never too hard on us since we always stuck to the one big rule. Don't try to look at whatever was whistling.
So the parents were like, don't look out the window, don't look
You
at
can
whatever
listen
it
to the
is.
whistler, but don't look at them. If you make eye contact, you'll die.
You'll start whistling and then you'll just die of dehydration.
Then
and
you'll
surrounded by
become a part of
spirits.
the thing whistling. What the fuck? Carry on.
Ooh. Anyway. My neighborhood is a funny place. Ha ha! We're so funny. I've lived here since I was 6 and I love it. The houses are small but well kept. Good sized yards.
Who the
Find
fuck
new
as a
places to
child
roam.
thinks this shit? Who the fuck goes round a cul-de-sac and goes, oh, Mary's lawn's well kept, that's nice. Those shutters are nicely painted, very
Did
nice.
this person become a realtor?
And maybe.
Maybe.
Sounds like it. Murderous realtor.
Okay. Where are we? I'm lost.
The houses are small. But
Thank you.
Blah, blah, blah.
But well
Plenty of
kept.
places to roam. There are a lot of other kids here my age. I turned 13 back in October. We grew up together and would always play four square in the cul-de-sac. I don't know what four square is. And roam around from back porch to back porch in the summer. This was a good place to grow up. I'm old enough to see it. What? I'm old enough to see it. Okay, that was...
It's old enough to see that it was a good place to grow up.
Ah, there you go.
Okay. So
And
they were
there's
old enough
only
to
two
realise.
strange things here. Sorry, I keep getting fucking distracted.
You know,
Keep
Richie, you're like half at the camera.
Push up, Sam.
I don't know how we keep shuffling.
I think we're just laughing and moving about.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
What are the two strange things, Richie?
There's only two strange things here. The night whistling and the good luck.
Oh.
It's a cult.
Alright.
The place is
It's
a cult.
The whistling never bothered me much. Like I said, I couldn't even hear it from my bedroom. But Mum and Dad don't like talking about it, so I've stopped asking questions.
They're in a cult.
My dad is a strong guy, tall and calm.
Cult.
He has an accent since he moved to the US as a kid.
Cult.
His family, my grandparents, they're from the islands. That's what they call it.
They
This is a cult.
sacrifice something to a pagan deity to give them good luck.
This is cult.
Uh-huh.
This is cult culture.
This is cult.
This is what they do.
This is a cult culture. Cult.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck, I'm lost again now. Strong guy.
It just disconnected and now it reconnected again.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Strong guy, tall and calm. They're from the islands. That's what they call it. My dad, the only time he isn't so calm is if the whistler comes up. He talked a little quicker then. Eyes move faster. And he tells us not to think about it so much. And to always remember the one rule. The big rule. Don't try to look outside when the whistler goes past.
What the fuck?
That's weird.
This is so weird.
Not that we could look even if we wanted. See, there are shutters on the inside of every
Didn't I
window.
just mention a joke about shutters? Marie, shutters are nice.
Uh-huh. Thick pieces of heavy canvas that pull down from the top and latch to the bottom of the window frame. Each latch even has a small lock.
They're trying to keep this thing outside, aren't they? They're like, you ain't fucking climbing through my window.
About the size of what you'd find on a diary. My dad locks those shutters every night before we all go to bed.
Like the signs on a diary. So this kid,
That's gonna stop
tiny.
Satan.
That's like
Tiny.
that small. So this kid's like, oh yeah, like the lock on the size of a diary, and I'm like, son, That is not going to stop a monster coming through your window.
My dad locks those shutters every night before we all go to bed and keeps the key in his room.
Along
My
with his
mum-
diary.
My mum, I don't know what she thinks about the whistling. I've
Makes
seen
up what
her
she
out
wants.
in the living room before at 3:03 when the sound starts. I could see her if I cracked my door open just an inch to peek. She's not out there often. At least I haven't caught her much, but once or twice a month, I think she sits out there on our big red couch just listening. The whistler has the same tune every night. It's cheerful. They have an example, but this is written down.
It's a whistle, you twat.
Da dum da 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 dum.
That's what they meant.
That's a bit ominous.
Okay. Remember how I said there are two odd things about where I live? Well, besides our night whistler, everyone in my neighborhood is really lucky.
Cult.
It's hard to explain, and Dad doesn't like us talking about this part much either. But good things just seem to happen to people around here a lot. Usually it's small things, winning a radio contest or getting an unexpected promotion at work, or finding some arrowheads buried in the yard.
Oh,
You know, the authentic kind.
so this is a cult on an ancient
Indian
burial
burial
ground.
ground. The weather is pretty good and there's no crime and everybody's gardens bloom extra bright in the fall.
Oh, meaning there's fucking bodies in the
A
garden
million
then.
little blessings I've heard my mum say about living here. But the main reason we stay
Literally,
here...
they're corpses in the garden. They're blessing the place.
Yeah. Why we moved here in the first place.
Corpses? I think you mean cult. Fucking blessings. I think you mean corpses.
May
under your
I
rose
continue,
bushes. Yeah,
Edward?
fine.
The main reason why we moved here in the first place is my sister Nola. She
Nola. I'm sorry, carry on.
She was
Dog's name.
born-
That is a dog's name.
was born very sick. My daughter, she is very sick. Something
oh my
with
god.
something with her lungs.
Don't look at me. I'm thinking of switching the internet from your phone onto the Wi-Fi now because it's later. I'm
Can
also
I just finish
yeah,
the
sure
story
you can. It's
first?
fine.
Fucking hell.
Want to know if Nola lives?
All right, go on then.
Yeah.
Talk about Nola.
We couldn't even bring her home when she was born, only visit her in the hospital. She was so small. I remember, small even compared to other babies. A machine had to breathe for her. We moved
This is
into
Nola.
our house here to be closer to the hospital. As soon as we moved here, Nola started getting better. The doctors couldn't figure it out. They chalked it up to whatever they were doing, but we all could tell they were confused. But my parents knew. Even I knew. Nola was getting better, just another one of the million little blessings we got for living in our neighborhood. So that's
All
why,
right.
So that's why we stayed. Even after we found out that for every small miracle that happens here every day, now and then, some bad things happen.
Of course. It's
But-
like fucking, yin and yang, innit?
But they only happen if you look for the whistler. See, our neighborhood has a welcoming committee.
Oh, fucking I,
They
do.
show up with macaroni. That's
The
me.
fuck was that?
That's me. See how much he fucking did.
It's because I was thinking of Hot Fuzz when they all had the hoods and they were like, oh me,
The
oh me,
greater
oh me, oh me.
good.
The greater good. And I was like,
greater
imagine they were like, oh Norma's out in the hospital. She can come see us all soon. They were like, very nice.
The greater good.
Anyway, this person's looking for the whistler.
Okay, can I?
Yes, you can.
Our neighborhood has a welcoming committee. They show up with macaroni casserole and a gift basket and a manila folder whenever someone new moves in. They're
We know
very
it's Manila.
Yeah, I know. They're very friendly. 4 people showed up when we moved in 7 years ago. The committee made small talk, gave me a Snickers bar,
Fucking
and
I want
took
to die.
turns holding Nola. It was her first week out of hospital, so they were extra careful.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Fucking hell. Give the whistler a Snickers, like...
The idea of just cult coming in and being that, want to join our cult? Here's a Snickers.
Then, the committee asked to speak to my parents in private, so I was sent to my room, where I still managed to hear nearly every word. The welcoming committee told my parents about how nice the neighborhood was. Really exceptionally. Hard to explain kind of nice. And then, they told my parents about the even harder to explain whistling that happened every morning at 3:03 and ended at the tick of 3:05. The group, our new neighbours, warned my parents that the whistling was quiet, would never harm or hurt us as long as we didn't look for what was making the sound.
Right.
This part they stressed, and I pushed my ears to the door, straining to hear them. People who went looking for the whistler had their luck changed. Sometimes tragically, a black cloud would hang over anyone that looked. Anything that could go wrong would. The manila envelope the committee brought over contained newspaper clippings, stories about car crashes and ruined lives, public deaths and freak accidents. Not everyone dies, I heard the head of the committee tell my dad, but the life goes out of them, even if they live. Even if they live, there's no light in them ever again.
Even if they're alive, they're a fucking vegetable!
No presents. My mum, I could tell she wasn't taking it seriously. She kept asking if this was some prank they play on new neighbours. At one point, my mum got angry, accused the committee of trying to scare us out of our new home, asked them if they were racist on account of my dad being from the islands. My dad calmed her down, told her he could tell our new neighbours were sincere and they were just
Honey, no, they're not racist! They're just a cult!
Literally. I'm lost again. He explained that he grew up hearing these kinds of stories from his mum and that he knew there were strange things that walked among us. Some of those strange things were good and some were bad, but most were different.
He's in on the cult.
He's in on the cult. After the committee left, Dad went out to the hardware store, bought the canvas blinds, the latches, and the tiny diary locks.
And then he
And
went
installed
to
them.
then he went to this fucking paper shop and got a diary
And
to
got himself a
lock
little
off it.
diary.
Can you imagine this guy going to a hardware store, buying all these things, being like, yeah, I need to lock
my windows.
And they're like, oh, what locks are you looking at? And they're like looking at all the locks, being like, too sturdy, too big. Do you have any diary locks?
And this man's like, yeah, you can try paper chase across the fucking way, you dog.
And installed them on every window in the house after dinner. That first night in our new house, I crept out of my room at 3 a.m, only to find my dad awake, sitting on the living room couch,
Rocking back and forth, thinking
Holding-
about his diary.
holding my baby sister. My dad held his finger up in a shh motion, but patted the couch next to him. I sat and we waited. At exactly 3:03, we heard the whistling. Eddie, do you want to do the whistling again?
Insert the whistling.
Where is it? Oh my god, I didn't realise he was trying to whistle then. He scared the shit out of me.
Well, it's supposed to be like faint whistling, isn't it?
I don't know, if everyone in the town can hear. It's pretty fucking loud whistling. I can't do it.
Okay, don't worry about
I
it.
can't do it. My soul is gone. It sucked my
It
soul out.
came and went, just like our neighbours said. The whistling returns each night, and we never look, and we enjoy our million little blessings every day. Nola breathes on her own, and she's grown into a strong, clever girl. My dad even joined the welcoming committee.
I
He's
bet
in
he
the cult.
fucking did.
He's in the cult.
He's
I
in
bet
the
he
cult.
fucking did.
We don't get new neighbours often. Why would anyone want to leave? But when a new family moves in, my dad and the committee bring them macaroni casserole, a gift basket,
What's
and
in
the
the
manila
macaroni
folder.
casserole?
These guys don't get a Snickers.
No,
I
no
know.
Snickers for you!
Literally. I can always tell by the look on my dad's face when he comes back if the family took the committee seriously, or if we'd be getting new neighbours again very soon.
Oh!
Wow, that's creepy. Not long ago, a family moved in directly next to us. The previous owner, Miss Maddie, passed away at age 105.
105?
Fuck me.
She
must have
lived
been
a
a cult
good,
leader.
long life.
Cult
Our
leader.
new neighbours seemed like they'd fit in just fine. They believed the welcoming committee, took my dad's advice about locking the shutters since they had young children of their own. Whatever newspaper clippings were in the manila envelope, whatever evidence, my dad never lets us see.
Oh, so it's not to keep the thing out, it's basically to keep children from looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's to stop kids from going, I want to know what that is.
Because even
Yeah.
if they're told, they're going to be like, oh,
Well, I wanna see
I want to
it."
see it. I don't care if we die
Yeah.
or become a vegetable.
But I imagine it.
The whole time.
But I imagine
carrot.
Yes. I want to be a courgette.
I'll be a spring onion.
a nice broccoli for me. I like a good broccoli.
Alright.
But I imagine it must have been awfully convincing since our neighbours got along with no issues for the first month.
For the first month.
One night when our new neighbours had to leave town, they sent their son, Holden, to stay with us. He was 12, a year under me in school. I didn't know him well before that night, but as soon as his parents dropped him off after dinner, I could tell it was going to be a bad time.
It was going to be a bad time.
Do you know who's always out there whistling every night? Holden asked the moment the adults left the room. The adults? What am I... The three of us were sitting in the den, some Disney movie playing idly on the television. My sister and I exchanged a glance. We don't talk about that, I said. I think it's that weirdo that lives in the big yellow house in the corner, Holden
Big blue
said.
house, the fucking bear in the big blue house.
Mr. Toles? My sister asked. No way, he's really nice. Holden shrugged. Must be a psycho killer then.
Fucking hell, this kid.
Nola tensed. We don't talk about it, I repeated. Let's go in my room and play Nintendo.
Play Nintendo.
No product placement.
Literally. We spent the next few hours playing games, eating popcorn, and then watching movies. A typical sleepover. But I could see Holden was getting antsy. After my parents had wished us a good night, locked the blinds and gone to bed, Holden stood up from his beanbag and walked over to where Nola and I were sitting on my bed. Have you ever even tried looking? He asked. It's nearly time. Like most sleepovers, we'd conveniently ignored any suggestion of a bedtime. I was shocked to see he was right. It was almost 3 a.m. I sighed. We don't. See, I can't even try to look because my dad locks the blinds every night and he hides the key. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is him. He continued, ignoring me. So does our dad, said Nola. Are you enjoying the voice?
I am.
Okay. No, replied Holden. No, he doesn't. You saw him do it, I said, a little sharper than I meant to sound. Holden grinned. Your dad locks the blinds, yeah, but he doesn't hide the key. He keeps it right on his normal keychain.
Fucking hell, this kid's a
Yeah, I
psycho.
know.
He's trying to kill
I
you.
love that he's
Literally.
very cockney as well.
Yeah.
Like, how did you make him cockney?
I did fucking know. I was just doing an accent.
It's from Oliver.
Yeah, he's from all of it.
Please, ask more!
So, I asked. Worried I already knew what he would say next because I had noticed that my dad didn't bother
okay?
hiding
It's
the
gonna be
key
like-
anymore after all these years because he knew that we took it seriously. So after your dad locked up, but before your parents go to bed, I went to the bathroom, and on my way, I may have peeked in their room, and I may have seen your dad's keychains on his nightstand, and I maybe went and borrowed the key to the blinds. Nolan and I stared at his grin, and it only grew wider. You're lying, I said. Holden shrugged. You can check if you want. Just open your parents' door and look. You'll see his keychain right there on the nightstand. Oh wait, shit, is that supposed to be me?
Yeah, that was Cockney Kid.
That was cockney
Okay.
kid.
Stay here, I told both of them. Don't move a muscle. Don't move a muscle. Okay.
I need to breathe.
I hurried over to my parents' bedroom, but hesitated at the door. If Holden wasn't lying, my dad would be angry. Beyond angry. I was scared thinking about it, but more scared of an open window with the whistler right outside.
I'm more scared about the fact you left your sister with this wanker.
I know. I opened the door barely an inch and looked in, but it was too dark to see. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the room. 2 steps into the dark, I froze. The whistling started, and I could hear it clearly from my parents' room. I never realized, but they must have heard the sound every night since we moved into the house. They never told us. I don't think I could have slept through it. I stood there, listening to the whistling come closer, unsure whether I should turn on a light or call out for my dad. Soft sounds from the living room brought me back to reality. Nola, I yelled, running out of my parents' room. Holden and Nola were standing near the front door next to a window. Holden wasn't lying. I could see him fumbling with the lock on one of the blinds. I heard a click. He did have the key. Holden let out a quick laugh. Ha! Nola stood next to him, hunched up, afraid but maybe curious. The whistling was right outside our window now. I think I made a sound. Called out. I can't remember. Time felt frozen. Clock hands nailed to the face. But I found myself moving. I'm not fast. I've never been athletic. Somehow, though, I covered the space between myself and Nola in a moment. My eyes were locked on her, but I heard Holden pull the blind all the way down so it could release. Yeah, it's one of those ones where you got
You
to
have to
pull it down for
and
it
it
to go.
goes flinging up, yeah.
I heard the snap of it start to raise, and I heard the whistling just on the other side of the window. But I had my arms around Nola, and I turned us so she was facing away from the window at the same time. At the same time, I jammed my eyes shut. The blind whipped open. The whistling stopped. I felt Nola shaking in my arms. Don't look, okay, I told her. Don't turn around. We were positioned so that she was facing back towards the hallway, and I was facing the window. My eyes were still closed. I felt her nod into my shoulder.
This is kind of scary. This is a good one.
Yeah. I reached out with the arm not holding Nola and tried to touch Holden. My hand brushed against his arm. He was shaking worse than Nola. Holden? I asked. Silence. I reached past him and gingerly felt for the window, eyes still sealed shut. The glass was cold against my fingertips. Colder than it should have been for the time of year. I moved my hand up the window, searching for the string to the blind. The glass began to get warmer the further I reached, and there was a gentle hum feeding back into my fingertips. I tried not to think about what might be on the other side of the window. Finally, I touched the string and yanked the blinds shut. I opened my eyes in the dim light leaking from the kitchen. I could make out Holden, pale and small, staring at the now closed window. Holden, I asked again. He turned towards me and he screamed. Everything became a flurry of motion. Lights sparked to life in the hall, then the living room. My parents' footsteps thudded across the hardwood floor. I didn't turn back to look at them. My eyes were glued to Holden. He was pale, had bit his lips so hard there was a thin red line of blood running down his chin, and he'd wet himself.
Hey!
Pissed himself! What happened? My dad asked from behind me. For some reason, he's a bit cockney as well.
Maybe
He's from the islands.
From the islands, Courtney.
I managed to swivel away from Holden and look back. He looked. I'd never seen my dad scared before, but I saw it that night. In that moment, an old, ugly terror stitched on his face, apparent fear. Just Holden, he mouthed to me. I nodded, yes. My dad let out a breath.
Thank God he's on mic.
Yeah, thank God Mike isn't traumatized.
He looked
Traumatized.
traumatized. He looked so relieved. I nearly expected him to cheer. But then he turned to Holden and my dad's face changed. I wondered if he felt bad for feeling good that Holden was the only one that looked. There was a knock at the door. We all froze. Holden whimpered. Don't answer it, my mum said.
Does this sound like your mum?
Yeah, she stood at the threshold of the hall. I'd always thought she was a skeptic and just human to my dad about the windows and the whistler. But that night we were all believers. I noticed that both of my parents held baseball bats. They must have taken from their bedroom. The knock came again, a little louder this time. Please don't open the door, Holden whispered. My dad walked over to him, hugged him close. We won't, my dad promised, still holding the bat. Was that Alex?
Probably. He's probably got a
Probably
stream
was.
up. Yeah, he's probably got a
Fucking
stream
was.
up and he was like, time to knock on their window and scare the shit out of them.
Right next to the fud on the
I
screen.
know.
I know!
Typical. I bet that was Alex. Anyway, continue.
It fucking was as well, wasn't it?
Benjamin.
Benjamin trying to scare the shit out of us.
It probably was, wasn't it?
Did scare me a little bit, I
It
can't
did
lie.
scare me. It did put me up a little bit. I saw it coming as well and I was just staring at it like...
I know, same. The knock... Oh, hang on. The knock came again, a little louder this time. Please don't open the door. Hugged him close. My dad walked over to him, hugged him close. We won't, my dad promised, still holding his bat. Nothing is coming in here tonight. Whoa!
What, oi?
Thud, 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 as the example on our window.
Thank you, Stanley.
This time the knocking was loud enough to rattle the door. Holden screamed again, and Nola clutched her arms around my neck. My mum came over and knelt down next to us, wrapping my sister and me close. Thud, thud, thud. Very nice.
Stanley!
Call the police! My mum whispered to my dad. The knocking instantly stopped. My dad looked over his shoulder at us. Do you think... He was cut off by frantic knocking that trailed off to a polite tap, tap, tap. Police, something said from the other side of the door. The voice from outside sounded exactly like my mum, like a parrot repeating the words back to her. Police. Call the police.
Oh, fuck. fuck me.
Tap, tap, tap. Please. My mum pulled us closer. Please, 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 please. Yeah, it's just repeating it now.
Fucking hell.
Please stop, I heard her whisper. I don't think calling them will help, my dad said. How will we know when they're the ones at the door? The knocking came back harder than before. The door shook. Then it stopped. After a long moment, I heard the knocking again, but it was coming from our back door. Wow.
Don't appreciate that.
Yeah,
Not at all.
that's a bit creepy. We all turned together towards the back door, but the knocking immediately returned to the front door. Front to back to front. Loud, and then quiet, and then loud again. Suddenly, the sound was coming from both doors at once. Big, heavy blows like a sledgehammer. Then, something started rapping against all the windows in the house. Then the walls. It was like we were living inside a drum.
The wall.
With a dozen people trying to play at once. Or we were a turtle and something was attempting to claw us out of our shell.
Stop!
Holden yelled. The knocking died. I won't tell, Holden said, staring at the door. I promise I won't tell anyone what I saw. Just please go away. We
This kid with pissy pants, like, I won't tell anyone.
We waited for nearly a minute. Then we heard it, a soft tap, tap, tap coming from the window. Holden had looked through earlier. Sorry, I fucked up on that one.
That's fine.
Coming from the window Holden had looked through earlier. Holden started to cry, sobbing like a prisoner watching gallows being built outside their cell. Oh, your phone vibrated.
Oh, yeah, it was Kaylee.
My dad held him, brushed his hair, but never lied to him. Never told him things would be okay. The tapping at the window went on for the rest of the night. We huddled together in the living room for I don't know how long. Eventually, my mum tried to take us kids into my room, while my dad stayed to watch the door. But the second we moved into my bedroom, the knocking came back. So loud it was I think they mean impossible to ignore, but they were possible.
It was possible to ignore. We just went to bed, had a cup of tea, talked about a day.
I was afraid the door couldn't take it. We went back to the living room and the knocking stopped. Only the tap, tap, tap on the window remained. None of us slept that night. The tapping stopped around 7 a.m. That's about the time when the sun comes up here. We waited another 2 hours before my dad opened the blinds from one window. He made us all go back to my parents' bedroom first. I heard him open the door and then come back in. Okay, he told us. It's done. Holden's parents came back around lunchtime. My mum and dad walked Holden over to his house and they all went inside
And they gave him a fucking bollocking.
for quite a while. Nola and I watched from the window. She stuck to me the whole day, right up my side.
Right up my arm.
Right up my ass. Sometimes holding my hand. When my parents came back, they looked grim, but wouldn't tell us what they'd said to Holden's family. It was a Sunday, so we all spent the day together, ordered pizza, and watched movies. Pretended it didn't fucking happen.
Pretended it didn't fucking happen.
That night, everyone slept in my room. Nola and my mum in my bed with me, my dad in a chair he'd pulled over. There was no knocking that night, or any night since. We didn't see much of Holden or his parents for the rest of that week, but by Thursday there was a moving truck in their driveway. Nola and I watched them packing up the whole afternoon after school. What sticks with me most is how tired Holden and his parents looked. All three had the same pallid, grim mouths and lightless eyes. Even from across the street, I could tell something was very wrong.
So probably something that was like
They're
knocking on
still
their doors
knocking.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holden and his family were gone before sunset. I remember what the original welcoming committee said to my parents when we moved in. Not everyone who looks at the Whistler dies, but even those that live have the light go out of them, and the rest of their lives are full of misfortune. A million little tragedies. I think
Poor Holden, his life's gonna be a pile of shit.
I know. I think Holden's parents must have looked, either to comfort him if they didn't believe, or share the burden if they did. I watched Nola some days, happy, young and alive, and I wonder if I'd been slower if she'd looked out the window that night. Would I have looked too, to comfort her, to share that burden? I'm glad I don't have to find out.
Alone.
We still live in that house, in the neighborhood. We still hear the Whistler walking past every night. The blessings, the luck, the good things here are too good to leave, but we're careful. We don't have friends over to spend the night anymore, and my dad hides the key to the blinds very, very well. Not that I've gone looking.
No boyfriends for you. I
There's
sleep
some
alone.
things you just don't need to look for.
That was a very
That was
well
good.
written
That was-
story.
It was well written.
Congratulations. Congratulations, whoever wrote that.
That was really well
Who wrote
written.
it?
Are you trying to find the author, Stanley? You want to congratulate the
Yeah,
author?
yeah, they did good.
Were you scared?
It was unsettling.
Were you scared?
Posted by
Grand Theft Motto.
Grand_Theft_Motto.
Wonderful.
It won Scariest Story 2019, Most Immersive Story.
It was very
really immersive.
It was,
You really
it's
like
good.
got into it.
It was very good.
It was just a.
Did my voices help?
It did. I liked the accent.
Thank you.
It was just
A story, though.
A story.
It was a
Yeah,
good story.
It was
The
very
thumbs up.
well written. Better than Bill's.
Ben. Better than
Bills.
Bill's. Very
Better than Bill's
good.
books.
We'll call that the last story for now because we've been doing this now for 2 hours and
Yeah.
15 minutes.
We ended on a
Yeah.
high.
Very
That was
high.
a,
That
was
was
a good
very
one to
good.
That was
finish
a very well written story.
Sleep well. Don't wake up at 3:03. Don't look out your windows. If you hear
Lock
someone
your
whistling,
windows with tiny
Don't have friends
padlocks.
that will knock on your window when you're reading them.
Yeah, Alex, you little
You already said it earlier.
Oh, did I? You little cunt. There you go.
Benjamin.
Don't go
Stupid
driving.
bastard.
Don't go driving in the dark.
Yeah.
Leave a light on.
And all of the rest of the things. If you see a creepy house, don't go in. You don't follow the little ghost girl when you go in there because she will take you to a room
Don't
full
get
of
a
ghosts.
dog.
But remember, no matter what you do, if you walk past the creepy house,
You're gonna die.
the demons are gonna get you.
You're gonna get demoned.
One way or a fucking another.
They're gonna get you.
They're
They're gonna
gonna
get you.
get
Get you one way. Alright, let's end this. Good night, fellas. Sleep tight.
Good night!